All right, everyone. What is up? Welcome, my friends, to the Frito Bandito Taqueria. We are ready to go. We are on our second night of server maintenance for Final Fantasy XIV. So, because of that, we are going to be doing more Dragon's Dogma on a not Dragon's Dogma night, which is fine.
And you know what else this is the second night of?
The second night of what?
The second night of William Paul's victorious return.
Yeah! The second and final night of weeknights of Mr. William Paul's return. That's not a Friday.
Yes. I will say that I don't remember much of the end of last night. I might have to go back and watch the VOD. That's
pretty funny. We basically said goodnight, and you just immediately boned out. I'm like, oh, he's dead. He's dead.
No, I mean, I don't remember, like, saying goodnight to Isaiah Norris or anything.
You didn't even say, you did not say goodnight. No, you may have, but it was like,
I was tired.
You were mooey tired. That's okay, though. That's okay. So, all right. With that, we've hit all the things. So you're going to be hearing a couple other voices tonight. That's because I did not watch the debate tonight. So because of that, I am going to be listening to the debate while I'm playing Dragon's Dogma. Yay! Yay. So you're gonna be hearing some other stuffs. This is the Louder with Crowder stream. So there's a decent chance this stream might get kicked off of YouTube, but you know what? I think this stupid garbage rules. Hold on. Gotta get through the loud intro. 1 second here. Gotta wait for the system settings to load. There we go. That's better.
Hang himself. Yes. He's going to mumble and or freeze.
Right. So we're on the.
You might have him drugged up a little bit. It might be yap away. I hope he did 8 lines.
Yeah, exactly. So we're on the pre-debate right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I hope he's hopped up on
is there
and monsters, so he runs.
Well, because I have your stream muted.
I asked you guys this before.
Is there someplace I can go to also be listening in?
I'm glad it's here, but I don't understand why Trump didn't have to do this. And if he wins tonight, they're going to go, you beat a guy with dementia. And if he loses, they're going to go, you lost to a guy with dementia. I don't understand the... Help me out here. What's he gained from
it?
It's
like the time I fought that girl.
I mean,
I'll allow that.
Like Steven said, the contrast thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
No, I don't think he had to do it, but I think he wanted to get back in the arena and show people, because he didn't do any of the primary debates, right? So he hasn't been on that stage since the last cycle.
And he's doing great.
He's doing great, but at the same time, he wants to finish him. And I like the kind of killer instinct that he has. I want to get in the arena. I want to finish this. I'm not just going to ride whatever momentum I have right now, because that stuff can change. We all have seen that.
For dogs?
He's going to go in there and finish this. I like that about him. There is some risk to it, but the risk is all controllable on his side. If he just stays disciplined, he'll be fine.
You have to weigh the risk.
One of his strong
I'm not positive on undershirts for dogs.
And if you look at the polls, it's
Thunder.
Every time
I don't know what a thunder shirt is.
30, that he's winning them, President Trump by that. I go, that can't be right. And I go, oh, it's Newsweek, so it still may not be right, but I'll provide the reference for you, publicly available. There are some people who haven't been paying attention.
How do I
They'll
explain
be paying
this?
attention tonight.
And I'm sure there's an easy way to explain it, and the way my brain works, it's just
Gerald,
whatever.
Bring up the electoral map.
You're familiar with like weighted blankets?
Yes.
Take a drink.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the purpose behind weighted blankets?
I'm sure they're saying that crap right now on CNN. So, right now they're promoting the Daily Show on CNN.
That you can
Remember
put
they used to
on
say
a
that
dog
it wasn't real news. Now they're just
to be able to help
open about
with
their
anxiety.
The electoral map.
One second here. I got a small problem.
That's
chat. Okay, so guys, look at this.
All right, we're gonna have to. My game froze.
Map, okay? Minus all I've left out is Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Virginia.
We're gonna have to start over again.
Is a dead heat right now. So is Minnesota. Arizona and Nevada are not. And by the way, neither are Michigan and Pennsylvania. Arizona, Donald Trump has not lost a poll
I guess
in Arizona since April 2023.
Shirt.
To be clear.
Okay, that makes sense.
This is what you're starting off with. Donald Trump is starting off with, give or take
the name
a little
comes
bit,
from the idea that
251.
dogs get freaked
Biden
out
is starting off with
and anxious
203.
around
So let's change one thing
the
here,
sound
guys.
of thunder
And this is what CNN
Right.
knows.
and loud
We're
noises
going
in
to
general.
get to
It's
right
to
now
help calm them.
Yeah.
And nutmeg
bullshit journalism
is
hatchet jobs that they're pulling. They're not even trying to hide it
somewhat
anymore. Jake Tapper and David
high-strung
Basham.
and
Okay.
anxious a
Arizona,
lot.
let's take Arizona. Give that to Donald
Not letting
Trump.
my wife
Okay, let's
sleep.
give Arizona to Donald Trump. Again, he hasn't lost a poll
And
since
so
April
with Thunder
2023.
Shirt,
Donald Trump is now at 262.
potentially she'll be able to
Think
relax
about
a little
this.
bit more.
If Biden
and
wins
not
Virginia,
bother the
okay, let's put
sleeping
that
wife.
in the Biden
Yeah.
column.
Let's
He wins
return to
Virginia,
Stephen.
okay?
Won't we adjust our
He still has
Yeah,
to
one of the-
run
that
the
would be
board.
that would
Also,
be
as
a
it relates
good
to
idea.
Nevada, where's the Nevada poll right here?
Great idea.
Trump hasn't lost since October
off as a clean
2023.
but it deals with the
October
hatred.
2023.
Okay, we're
This is
gonna
why this is
check
so
out
important.
Busty
If you look
Chick.
at Arizona, Biden was up 5 in 2020. Now Trump is
See,
up 5.6.
see if she's got
If you look at
anything,
Nevada, Biden was up
good
6.
for
Now
me.
Trump is
Busty
up
Chick.
4.2. That's the kind of spread that you do not
Madeline?
see.
I do
Yeah,
not
let's just leave
remember
Nevada
Busty
blank.
Chick.
Okay, let's leave Nevada blank. Now,
where is
we
she?
even go to
She's, like,
Michigan. Let's go
all
to
the
Michigan
way
here really quickly.
over.
Michigan, you have Trump up 0.3%, but he was down 8.4. He was down to Hillary, and he
was,
won
like,
Michigan.
over
If you look at
here.
Pennsylvania, Trump hasn't lost since March at all. He's won almost all the polls. Biden was up 6.4. Trump was up 2.8. He's been consistently up in Pennsylvania. It seems very much like it's Donald Trump. But let's just give Biden, let's say he guaranteed gets, okay, we gave him Virginia. No,
Black
did you
market
put-
pawn shop?
I'm looking at North
Yes.
Carolina. Give him
Okay.
Minnesota. Let's give Biden Minnesota. Okay, he's at
I
226.
honestly
Let's give him
do not remember
Wisconsin. He's at 236.
any details of that
Let's
merchant
give him
other than the fact that they
Michigan.
were a merchant.
It's still not.
Yeah, I was right. It's
Let's
Madeline.
give him Nevada, which, by the way, there's no chance he gets Nevada.
And yet here you
It's
stand.
still not enough.
So, well,
How
you'll
about
find
Crimea?
If
No,
Biden,
no,
if
this is-
Biden would have to give him Pennsylvania.
She sets up a shop?
That's the, and it's still
Yeah.
barely. It's 276. If you give one of those states, Michigan or Pennsylvania,
You just learned
or
this?
even Wisconsin, by the way, and he has Nevada.
Weird.
There's
She
too
never
many
did that in
paths
my
for
game.
Donald Trump to win.
Huh.
And if you look at these polls, let's go to the actual
Maybe
likely
you
scenarios
didn't
and go based on the
do
polls
the
right
quest
now.
right?
Nevada, give it to Donald Trump. It's not even close. Let's switch that to Donald Trump.
I
Okay.
escorted her
Pennsylvania, let's switch
to
that to Donald Trump. It's not even close. Okay. Let's
to the
let's
city.
give Wisconsin to Biden. Let's just say he gets, and give Michigan to Donald Trump, because right now he's been winning in all those polls. That's the very likely map that you're going to see with some variation there in the Midwest. Biden has to run the board,
Wait,
and he can't.
is she
Remember last,
able
and
to
I
be
say this, by the way,
selected
not so you
as
go,
a love
okay,
interest?
it's a deadlock or become complacent.
Yes.
Here's the interesting part here.
Okay.
This is about voter turnout. Right, usually the voter turnout issue favors Democrats.
apparently in
if they
my
give you a
game,
sandwich,
I
put you
really
on a
wasn't
bus and
pursuing
call it
anybody
Acorn
as
an
a
organization,
love
give you free
interest or
shit,
whatever,
get you to
and so,
vote.
like, at the
If you
end of
just
the
get out
game,
there right now,
it
you
randomly
get
selected
active.
someone
you start
that's,
going door to
yeah,
door. You
they're
start
going off
canvassing. You do your
on,
part.
like,
Guess what? In
some
any one of
perception
these
that they
states,
had that I was the
Donald
love
Trump
of their
flips it.
life, and
That's it.
and I was
It's
just like,
done. They know that, and that's why they're stacking
we
the
shared
deck
a
so
brief
hard
moment
against
on
it.
a
They talk about
Tuesday.
democracy. It's like they're trying to steal it from you. If the election was held today,
Funny
Donald
bone
Trump
guards.
wins. It's
That's kinda
not
funny.
even close. It's not even close.
But,
I cannot be clearer about that. They're going to try and make it about democracy.
I
at
looked
stake.
up some
Wait a second,
information
you mean the
about
guy
it
who
and
gave more
everything, and it's like
presidential
there's
pardons
this
than
whole
anyone surrounding his
big
presidency?
quest
Do you mean the
arc
guy who would probably
that
hunt,
I
probably
completely
pardon your
missed.
crackhead son? do you mean the guy
And I was just
who
like,
never lost
oh,
Hillary
well,
up for crying out? The guy who gave you
that would
more
make
freedom of speech
sense.
rights? The guy who granted you
Like,
more?
if
well,
I'd
not
gone
granted,
through all
he
that with
recognized your
her,
Second Amendment rights.
that she'd have the
Maybe I
response
misspoke.
that
There's no
she
government
had
can grant
at
those
the
rights.
end of the game.
You have a guy who's prosecuted, who's persecuted more political opponents, Joe Biden, than any person, any president in our lifetime. Hoover should be so lucky.
I mean, from what I
That's we're
remember
actually dealing with
playing
tonight.
Dragon's
And
Dogma,
here's what's so
it
interesting.
was not
These
that
are the
bad
top
of a
issues of the
game.
election.
Like,
Okay? These are the top
game
issues. Let's go to the interactive
mechanics-wise,
polls. It looks worse and
the way
worse and worse. The
the-
more information that comes
yeah,
out,
the fighting and the
Biden
setup and
wakes
the
up going,
magic
"Shit."
and the
That's how he
pawn
wakes up.
system. I like the pawn system in
There's
regard
no
to
respite.
how to have
There's
that.
no respite for the poor old bastard.
But
Shit.
That's
how I imagine he wakes up.
The story was.
Shits himself.
I personally
So let me
felt
go to these
lacking.
polls here, the interactive
And
polls
I guess
that came
I
from
missed
CNN, the
a
most
lot of
important
it.
issues, right, as people relate them. Okay.
Make it so
This is from
difficult
Washington Post. And here's what's so
to
interesting. The economy,
get
right,
access
is
to
92%.
the various story aspects.
Hey,
It's like,
to the economy.
you
Threat
know,
to democracy in
you
the
don't
United
need to
States,
railroad me,
85%.
but
Crime,
at least
82%.
show me the track.
Immigration, 70%. And the interesting thing about those who say threats to democracy is you would think, oh, that's a Biden talking point. No, this is why this is so important tonight. Most people agree with you. They believe that Donald Trump is a better guard for democracy, that Joe Biden is a greater threat to our democracy. That's from this interactive poll from WAPO. So you look at these top 4 issues: the economy, threats to democracy, crime, immigration. Top 4.
Wow, it gives me a 38% resistance to
President Trump.
Really
Number 5 is racism. I don't know what the hell that means. What are you, pro-racist? Are you anti-racist? You're concerned that your neighbor's racist? Who gives a shit?
Get tired of it.
Yes, that's what I think.
That's what
okay, we'll keep that in our inventory. We'll keep that in our
I know they are, but I want to make sure like he's dominating in ways that we didn't think he would.
Right.
And issues that are important to the American people are not what Democrats are talking about right now. They're trying to put smoke screens out there about the economy working for everybody when it's obviously not, and they're putting abortion front and center. And those issues, the economy is important to people, but they trust Trump way more than they trust Joe Biden on that. And there is proof in the pudding there.
Absolutely.
Trump let us send.
And you don't have to guess what he's going to do. He's already done it. You can just look at his record.
Yeah.
That's so unique right now.
Remember when the
Trump should send Elvin Bragg a Witten sampler.
I don't know if we're still on YouTube, but I don't care at this point because they can go screw themselves. Do the promo code Trump2024, you get $24 off. Look, these are the moderators tonight. Remember when they tried to seem biased? Oh, sorry, unbiased. They tried to hide their bias. Back then, CNN, like they'd have Chris Wallace come out like anyone likes him. He's the kind of bastard who brings Zima, warm Zima, to a party. And you're just like, oh, Chris Wallace.
Again.
Megyn Kelly was considered like, oh, that was a bit controversial because he said, blood leaking out of her wherever, which, by the way, happens most likely if you understand biology once more. The point is, it's not that big of a deal.
That's what I pulled the liver of Trump. I couldn't believe he said that.
I pulled it when he mocked the reporter in a wheelchair and said, oh, I don't remember.
That's really when I was laying on the couch. I had one eye open. I go, is he just making fun of a handicapped reporter? Where do I pull the lever?
I'm in.
Yeah. Somebody give me a ride to the...
That's my guy.
Give me down to the...
Give me Dominion. I'm switching some votes. So the moderators they have tonight are Jake Tapper.
Delicious.
And Dana Bash, okay?
Yuck.
These are the hacks to end all hacks. And in case you thought, well, maybe they'll do a fair job, the reason they're doing this tonight, remove streams of fact check. We will be fact checking.
Oh, by the way,
sure
the stream that I'm watching, there will be language. So, language warning.
An even playing field. But believe your lion eyes and your lion ears. Here are the moderators of tonight's debate.
That's okay. I don't mind.
That's not them.
No, that's not.
Can you actually hear the can you hear the debate or the
No.
Oh, okay. On a national political stage.
Because all I've got for because I have your stream muted, and so all I hear is voice chat through Discord.
Got it.
In fact, it wasn't even a debate.
I mean,
It was
yeah,
a
you had.
disgrace. Primarily because
You were streaming through Discord as well a while ago, but then when you entered the game,
Sticking to the facts and telling you just what we know, President Trump apparently has no such constraints since he simply makes stuff up. The president paints a picture of Democratic control of Congress that is as nonsensical as it is dystopian with a healthy wall of racial division.
Trump's claim about Biden orchestrating the trial.
The path here is dangerous. Oh, is it?
No evidence. Absolutely no evidence. Biden himself was involved.
Whatever this spectacle is that's unfolding before us, let's remember what this case is about.
The folks in the control room, I don't need to see any more of that. He's trying to turn this. He's trying to turn it into a spectacle, into a campaign ad. That's enough of that. We've seen it already.
I think the issue that Eric was expressing is the reluctance to criticize President Trump for specifically saying things like very fine people were marching in that rally.
Donald Trump incites a terrorist attack, and they have a different standard.
All right, there we go. Use. There we go. Now we get some light
There
on
aren't
this
even racist undertones. They're racist overtones. I mean, that's just the way it is by scaring people. In some cases, frankly, in most cases, unnecessarily so.
Joe, can you get it out? Let's get the words out, Joe. You kind of feel bad for him.
How do you think it makes little kids with stutters feel when they see you make a comment like that?
Let's recognize this comment for what it is. A long-standing anti-Semitic trope that the true reason for Jews is to their religion rather than their country.
Another shocker from Donald Trump, showing not even one's faith is off limits in 2023.
It was used in Nazi Germany to justify the persecutions and mass killings and attempted
More
extermination
snakes.
of Jewish people.
I need to murder all the
Trump's been
snakes.
pushing this trope for years.
Apparently, they've never heard of Jared Kushner.
Exactly. That's all you gotta say.
How lazy are they? Yeah, hold on a second. Wait a second. Wait. They compare him to Hitler. Who's done more for Israel and, by the way, has received more anti-Semitic hate than Donald Trump? And I can't think of anybody.
He's bad.
Certainly not Joe Biden. You think he's a huge fan of the Jews? He's just too lazy to utter the anti-Semitic remarks because he can't muster the energy now. He's too busy hiding classified documents next to his gremlin. Pacer.
Oh, okay. I think I want to go over here.
Got a car. He drives.
It's safe in the garage. Don't worry.
And by the way, right now, it's just been brought to our attention that there's so many of you that the Rumble servers crashed. So that should be back up. You can go to YouTube and head on over to Rumble. Just please push it back out. Thank God it happened before the stream. And come back in. Let your friends and family know we are going to be live fact-checking this. This is going to be the best spot here tonight. You want the information. You want to know how they are lying, when they are lying. We're going to call it every step of the way. But this is something that happened on CNN not too long ago today, maybe a couple of hours. When people talk about illegal immigration, okay, this was a Biden surrogate. People killed by illegal aliens. But he visits the family. Biden can't remember their names. Serve at the table so we can They don't realize they shouldn't say the quiet part out loud. People are being killed. By the way, they make up 9% of the population, 27% of our federal population. We don't want to bet them. But every single murder or rape that takes place at the hands of an illegal immigrant is one that never should have happened because you failed your job. Please talk about immigration tonight. Please talk about the economy tonight. Please do. I'm looking forward to it.
And yesterday, my office said it's the criminal who's to blame.
Right.
It's just the criminal. It's in a vacuum.
Mirror. Which Doug Bergen can't do because there's no reflection. We want to talk to this guy and be like, around the back. Dracula interview, please. When I have him on the show, we have a UV light just to see what happens. You know, I have a Friday.
We're 30 seconds away.
All right, that will start. Everybody, we are watching with you.
Torch the eggs. Yeah, let no better survive.
We're gearing up for a left door. You're running. Son of a bitch. You're so much faster hit. We also have a 7+1 later. Let's hear them set this up with their victory.
A key battleground state in the race for the White House. In just moments, the current U.S. president will debate the former as their party nominated in American history. We want to welcome viewers in the United States.
Funny hat.
Yes, belt.
This is the CNN presidential debate.
This debate
Yeah, give us a lot more volume there.
Oh, big boy. They don't have to. Uh-oh, we got Big Brother.
More Hispanics to vote for Trump. It's working. Sorry,
Big Brother.
for you. Slender Man.
Married to a guy who's one of the 51 guys who signed that thing.
Yeah, the
Slow it down, please!
And done.
I have yet to get one of your movie references. Age differences.
It's a Jack Nicholson film. I thought you would know it.
Each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer a question and 1 minute for responses and rebuttals. An additional minute for follow-up, clarification, or response is at the moderator's discretion.
God darn those
Wonderful.
beetles.
Any more control, moderators? Could you get any more control?
Get these like brown beetles that come in here and they just like kamikaze me and you're just like, ah! Like, they're completely harmless, but they just freak me out.
After the debate, each candidate will get 2 minutes for closing statements. There is no studio audience tonight.
I wonder why.
Props or contact with campaign
No props.
Take care, you're soaked in water.
Joe's gonna have the acorn stealers. Every time they meet him.
The 46th president of the United States, Joe Biden.
Oh, that's a bad walk. Oh, that's a bad start.
Oh. Oh yeah, he definitely looks old in this walk.
I'm not.
He is shuffling.
No, it was very
bad.
stiff.
Look, he does not know where he is.
No, he doesn't. He's at the San Diego Zoo right now. Look at Trump just took a jump. Yeah. To put this guy away.
He's walking slowly and deliberately.
Look how relaxed he is.
Yeah.
There's the first question answered. They are not shaking hands.
Let's begin the debate, and let's start with the issue that voters consistently say is their top concern, the economy. Inflation has slowed, but prices remain high. Since you took office, the price of essentials has increased. For
Can't
example,
go that way.
a basket of groceries that cost $100 then now cost over $150.
There you go.
Voters who feel they are worse off under your presidency than they were under President Trump.
You're right.
I took a look at what I was left from becoming president.
Oh, shut up.
Mr. Trump looked. We had an economy that was
So first question to Biden is, people say that they feel like they're worse off under you than they were Trump. Biden's response, look at what was left to me.
Oh my God, he said just inject bleach into your arm? Okay.
It's not going to last. His voice is already gone.
It's terrible.
It's like, you had the way out of COVID, dude. All you had to do was just roll the vaccine out and let people take the vaccine and go back to their lives. You couldn't even do that.
Cheerleader. No, you don't.
2/3 of the total jobs recovered during the pandemic, just to be clear. What, Rumble's back up? Okay, good. 25% of new jobs are government jobs. The average household income went up $4,000 for the average American under Donald Trump. Went down $4,200 under Biden. All references there.
Too many new units. Then make sure we cap rents so corporate greed can't take over. The combination of what was left of in corporate greed is the reason why we're in this problem right now. In addition to that,
dude, he sounds like he is just barely making the words come out of his face hole.
How's going to January 6th? What?
Look, do you know how exhausting and tiring it is for someone of his age to be used as a puppet?
I know, right?
I'm sorry, what?
And the price of insulin, which Biden then tried to take credit for. Also said he invented it, but he's a drunken prick.
Oh, that was an easy couple thousand experience.
So we're working to bring down the price around the kitchen table, and that's what we're going to get done.
Thank you, Vito Corleone.
Thank you, President Trump.
Here we go.
The greatest economy in the history of our country. We have never done so well. Everybody was amazed by other countries were copying us. We got hit with COVID, and when we did, we spent the money necessary so we wouldn't end up in the Great Depression, the likes of which we had in 1929. By the time we finished, so we did a great job. We got a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for the military, and no wars, and so many other things. Everything was rocking good. But the thing we never got the credit for, and we should have, is getting us out of that COVID mess. He created mandates that was a disaster for our country. But other than that, we had given them back a country where the stock market actually was higher than pre-COVID, and nobody thought that was even possible. The only jobs he created are for illegal immigrants and bounce-back jobs, the bounce-back from the COVID. He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job, and inflation's killing our country. It is absolutely killing us.
Thank you, President Biden.
Well, look, the greatest economy in the world. He's the only one who thinks that, I think. I don't know anybody else who thinks that.
Polls show the vast majority of the American people. Your ball.
He said, so Trump came back and was like, we had basically the greatest economy until COVID hit.
His economy.
And yeah, so then Biden goes, I guess you're the only one that thinks it was the greatest economy. It's like, well, actually, if you look at the polls, a lot of people think the economy was much better under Trump than Biden. So
he did something that was significant. And the military.
Let's see.
You know, when he was president, they were still killing people in Afghanistan. They didn't do anything about that.
Wait,
when he was president,
you mean your withdrawal?
Is
he committing political suicide tonight?
Yeah, what
Comment.
was that?
I'm the only president this century that doesn't have any, this decade, that doesn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world like he did.
What?
President Trump.
He just openly stated, "I am the only president that hasn't had troops die anywhere in the world."
By the way, that certainly counts as a
Afghanistan withdrawal when a suicide bomber blew up 5 soldiers, 5, 6, 7, 8 soldiers.
No, because you see, he's not going to lose any respect from any of the military personnel that may have heard that and been
he made a statement. The only thing he was right about is I gave you the largest
may have misunderstood exactly what he said, because as their commander-in-chief,
and the jobs went down, and then
they have to respect it. It's part of their orders, right?
He also said he inherited 9% inflation. No, he inherited almost no inflation, and it stayed that way for 14 months.
1.25%.
And then it blew up under his leadership because they spent money like a bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing. They don't know what they were doing. It's probably the worst administration in history. There's never been. And as far as Afghanistan is concerned, I was getting out of Afghanistan, but we were getting out with dignity, with strength, with power. He got out. It was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country's life.
President Trump, over the last 8 years,
3-pointer.
I think Joe just pooped.
National debt
He did.
We have a poop watch.
Yeah, you
According
did.
to a new nonpartisan analysis,
Dana Bash was holding her nose.
Dude, $8.4 trillion in new debt. Well, so far, President Biden, you've approved.
Biden was just staring at Tapper with his mouth open.
So former President Trump.
Oh my gosh!
Signed into law are set to expire next year.
Dude,
you want to
he was
extend them
visibly
even further,
confused
you
right there,
say.
trying to look at
With
Tapper.
the U.S. facing trillion-dollar deficits and record debt, why should top earners and corporations pay even less in taxes than they do now?
Because the tax cuts spurred the greatest economy that we've ever seen just prior to COVID. And even after COVID, it was so strong that we were able to get through COVID much better than just about any other country. But we spurred, that tax spurred. Now, when we cut the taxes, as an example, the corporate tax was cut down to 21% from 39%, plus beyond that. We took in more revenue with much less tax, and companies were bringing back trillions of dollars back into our country. The country was going like never
So right
before.
now they're going over tax cuts.
Law. No matter what kind of you put up, tax as a percentage of GDP is remarkably stable, between 16 and 20%.
I'm sorry, timestamp?
Since World War II.
On your Louder with Crowder?
42.29. So basically, what he's saying is that that Biden attacks Trump, and a lot of people on the left attack people on the right for wanting tax cuts. There's an actual kind of economic law where it doesn't matter how much you raise taxes, you're only going to achieve a certain amount of revenue with whatever tax rate you do. So the idea is it doesn't matter if you tax people at 10% tax or you tax people at 40% tax, you're going to wind up with virtually the same amount of tax revenue because of tons of different factors. I mean, I can't even pretend to explain all the different factors, but the way it's been over history is that no matter what the tax bracket is set at, you wind up getting the same amount of taxes. So there is no reason to raise taxes like no other if your sole purpose is to have taxed revenue, a tax revenue base. So, yeah.
Reference available.
Yeah, so we're at 1630.
Situation with
42.35. That's where I'm at right now.
The therapeutics and all of the things that we came up with.
Okay.
We gave him something great. Remember, more
Okay,
people
cutting
died
the left,
under his
right.
administration even though we had largely fixed it. More people died under his administration than our administration, and we were right in the middle of it. Something which a lot of people don't like to talk about. But he had far more people
Was that the horn or Joe?
in his administration. He did the mandate, which is a disaster, mandating it. The vaccine went out, he did a mandate on the vaccine, which is the thing that people most objected to.
Nice pivot.
Boom. Perfect. I brought you the vaccine, he mandated it. Nailed it.
He's got to stay on that.
Yep. No longer respected as a country. They don't respect our leadership. They don't respect the United States anymore. We're like a third world nation between weaponization of his election, trying to go after his political opponent. All of the things he's
lead
done.
right into it.
Save some of it, though.
It's a shame. The damage he's done to our country, and I'd love to ask him and will why he allowed millions of people to come in here from prisons, jails, and mental institutions to come into our country and destroy our
Stick
country.
it, give him the floor.
President Trump,
Perfect.
Love it. I want to give you an opportunity to respond to this question about the national.
First time they covered for him.
Oh, they covered for him. Right there. Moderators covered for him. Drink. He doesn't have to answer. Remember, every time they do it, it makes Biden look weak. They protected him right there.
Benefited the very wealthy. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean, billionaires in America.
Oh, Lord.
And what's happening?
Yeah, I don't know. As far as trillionaires, the number you're looking for is 0.
If they just paid 24%.
Do you realize just his voice is hanging himself?
I know.
Just the contrast in energy.
No harm has come to our child.
We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to
You need some elder care in the White House.
healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make
You get
every
90
single
minutes in 'em.
solitary person eligible for what I've
Biden moment, drink.
excuse me, with
That's
dealing with what we have to do with.
Oh, gosh.
Getting worse. Oh, he just had a major freeze.
Holy! I told you he'd make.
He just lost the election.
I told you
he just lost the election. Joe Biden just lost
He
that election.
completely froze mid-explanation, 100%.
Finish your drink.
Yeah.
Finish your drink.
They do that at least 3 times tonight. Here's number 1.
Dude, and this isn't even like the first 10 minutes.
We're trying to put them on Social Security. He will wipe out Social Security. He will wipe out Medicare. So he was right.
Look at Biden's face. He knows he screwed up. Look.
And it's a shame. What's happened to our country in the last 4 years is not to be believed. Foreign countries, I'm friends with a lot of people. They cannot believe what happened to the United States of America. We're no longer respected. They don't like us. We give them everything they want, and they think we're stupid.
He looks on the verge of tears.
What we're doing for other countries,
He's doing a good job of not going after him, too, now. Let him hang himself.
Thank you, President Trump. Ken?
This is the first presidential election since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. This morning,
here
the
we go.
court ruled on yet another abortion case, temporarily allowing emergency abortions to
Idaho.
continue in
This is
Idaho.
easy for you, President
Despite
Trump.
that
Went to the states.
Fastball
Joe
down.
Biden doesn't respect the courts. He wants to pack the courts.
Damn straight.
The federal government still plays a role in whether or not women have access.
I love babies. Joe Biden doesn't talk to his grandbaby. Denies their existence. Who does that?
Block abortion medication.
First of all, the Supreme Court just approved the abortion bill, and I agree with their decision to have done that, and I will not block it. And if you look at this whole question that you're asking, they're complex, but not really complex. 51 years ago, you had Roe v. Wade, and everybody wanted to get it back to the states. Everybody, without exception.
Here we go.
Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives. Everybody wanted it back. Religious leaders. And what I did is I put 3 great Supreme Court justices on the court, and they happened to vote in favor of killing Roe v. Wade and moving it back to the states. This is something that everybody wanted. Now, 10 years ago or so, they started talking about how many weeks and how many this, and getting into other things. But every legal scholar throughout the world, the most respected, wanted it brought back to the states. Now the states are where it is. If you look at Ohio, it was a decision that was an end result that was a little bit more liberal than you would have thought. Kansas, I would say the same thing. Texas is different. Florida is different. But they all make their own decisions right now. And right now, the states control it. That's the vote of the people.
Don't spend too much time on this. Perry, put it on Biden. Ask him, what's the... So Joe, what would you do? What's the limitation? Where would you stop it? He can't answer. Toss it to Joe right now. This is turn this into an opportunity.
Rape, incest, and the life of the mother. That's very important. Some people don't. Follow your heart. And because that has to do with other things. You got to get elected. The problem they have is they're radical because they will take the life of a child at the 8th month, the 9th month, and even after birth. After birth, if you look at the former governor of Virginia, he said, well, put the baby aside.
If Biden says that's not true, we're going to make sure it's publicly available. Ralph Northam saying, we'll make the child comfortable and then decide what to do.
I got a whole bit on it.
The country is now coming together on this issue. It's been a great thing.
Thank you. President Biden.
Let's see.
It's been a terrible thing, what you've done. The fact is that the vast majority of constitutional scholars...
You old pocket watch.
Support it. What? And that's this idea that they're all against it is just ridiculous. And this is the guy who said the state should be able to have it. We're in a state where in 6 weeks, you're pregnant enough, but you cannot see the doctor, have your the idea that states are able to do this is a little like saying we're going to turn civil rights back to the state. But each state had a different rule. But there's so many young women.
Civil rights is the rights that your party imposed?
Yeah. The idea that she was murdered by illegal. Here's the deal. There's a lot of women by their in-laws.
Less than 1%. Bring up the stats. Less than 1%, according to the largest surveys and data analysis that we have, are due to rape and or incest, and less than 0.5% are for medical necessity in the case of the fetus. It's less than 2% total.
Yeah, that's,
bring it up, mission control. It's not even close.
Talked about the
we have a border that's the most dangerous
percent of women that get abortion for rape and incest. I thought it was about 7 to 8%. Now it's only about 1%.
And they are raping and killing women. And it's a terrible thing. As far as the abortion is concerned, it is now back.
That's the one thing about the whole abortion issue. The whole Democrat Party is absolutely radical on that issue.
In many cases, it's the opposite. But they're voting, and it's bringing it back to the vote of the people, which is what everybody wanted, including the founders, if they knew about this issue.
It's pretty hard to perform an abortion with a wooden stick and a monoscope.
I was just thinking.
Many presidents had tried to get it back. I was the one to do it. And again, this is the vote of the people, and that's where
4 whores and 7 contractions ago.
Staying on the topic of abortion, President.
Of course, you want to stay on the topic of abortion.
I'll let you do that. This is the same topic. 7 states have no legal restrictions on how far into a pregnancy a woman can obtain an
Bring up the 2% number, please. Less than 2% of all abortions, rape, incest, and you just say fine. We've made exceptions for that. Will you ban the other ones?
Oh, hello.
We need but 7 the tail.
First time between a woman and a doctor. Second time between a doctor and a
hello, Chimera.
Third time between a baby and a mechanic.
O'Reilly. Hey, by the way, people out there, 10 to 15,000 abortions take place every year after 22 weeks of being with violence. 10 to 15,000 every single year, according to the CDC. I will make that publicly available. That's a Holocaust.
We just got Snoop Dogg's out.
Some states, Democrat run, take it after birth. Again, the former governor of Virginia, put the baby down and we decide what to do with it. So he's willing to, as they say, rip the baby out of the womb and kill the baby. Nobody wants that to happen. Democrat or Republican, nobody wants it to happen. That is simply not true.
Get the clip ready. Governor Ralph Northam had it. Okay, bring it up really quickly. I don't want to interrupt, but bring up the clip.
He just said that the governor Ralph Northam of Virginia did not say that he would just let the baby. So Governor Ralph Northam absolutely wants abortion after birth.
Rape and incest.
100%. He said that. They just played the audio clip.
The radicals, not the Republicans.
Yeah, you gotta love those 4th trimester abortions.
I know.
It was wrong.
Because that's the big thing about the abortion issue. The Democrats truly want the DNC's official policy. It's not official, but basically what they'll say is they want abortion legitimately up until birth.
He already did it, dummy. He put it back to the states. What's he gonna do? He's gonna put it more to the states. Shut up, you crazy old rapist.
Sign that bill? I'll veto it. He'll sign it.
Thank you.
Yeah, talk about how you reversed his 89 executive orders on immigration and allowed 8 million illegals to be apprehended at the southern border. Record numbers.
Overwhelming border
Rape and incest 0.4%.
0.4% total. Rape and incest 0.4. It's 0.6% of Biden's
Rape
included
and
in the sample
incest
study.
is only 0.4% of all abortions.
To solve this crisis.
Because we worked very hard to get a bipartisan agreement.
And less than another less than 1% is life of mother.
We are in a situation where
which, if that's all it is, you're going to have a lot more people that are okay with it.
We significantly increased the number of asylum officers. Significantly, by the way, the Border Patrol endorsed me.
Biden openly stated the Border Patrol endorses him. That is absolutely 1,000%
That is not true.
true.
The Border Patrol agency absolutely endorsed Donald Trump. Please bring that up.
Yeah, the Border Patrol agency does not like Joe Biden at all.
What's happened? I've changed it in a way.
8 million illegal apprehensions at the border under your first 3 years. 3 million under Donald Trump. And by the way, the numbers are pretty damn clear as far as illegals with criminal records. 12,000 average per year under Biden, as opposed to 5,000 under Trump. Actual terrorists at the southern border who made it through, 380 under Biden versus 11 under Trump. It's not even close. That's what you did, Joe.
What he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we have the safest border in the history of our country. The border.
Oh,
he decided to open up our border, open up our country to people that are from prisons.
Ouch.
People that are from
I just got domed by a boulder.
12,797 that we know.
Oh, that sucks.
All over the world, not just in South America, all over the world they come.
Oh, that set me back a bit.
All over the world they're pouring in. And this guy just left it open.
Dang
and he didn't need legislation because I didn't have legislation. I said close the border. We had the safest border in history. In that final couple of months of my presidency, we had, according to Border Patrol, and by the way, who endorsed me for president, but I won't say that, but they endorsed me for president.
Joe Biden looks visibly confused.
There you go. Do we have the confirmation? Did Mission Control send it?
No, we have the worst border in history.
The site is down currently.
Here's where the contrast.
They probably were overloaded because Biden said they endorsed me, and people went, "Ruh-roh."
Here's where the contrast is. You got a record to run on now.
Killed Al-Qaeda person come in and his administration killed 3 American soldiers. Killed 3
11 terrorists encountered at the southern border under Trump's entire tenure. 380, you know, with Biden, up until now.
Once again, you exaggerating his line.
11 to 380, bitch.
Of immigration, you said that you're going to carry out, quote, the largest domestic deportation operation in American history. Does that mean that you will deport every undocumented immigrant in America, including those whose spouses are citizens, and including those who have lived here for decades? And if so, how will you do it?
Yes, but only Puerto Ricans.
2 Toyotas.
The people we killed al-Baghdadi and Soleimani. The 2 greatest terrorists, biggest terrorists anywhere in the world, and it had a huge impact on everything, not just border, on everything. He's the one that killed people with a bad border, including hundreds of thousands of people dying, and also killing our citizens when they come in. We are living right now in a rat's nest. They're killing our people in New York, in California, and every state in the union because we don't have borders.
This is the difference in tone. When Donald Trump brought this up in 2016, people said it was racist. They're now starting with the acknowledgement that it's a problem and trying to say, Joe, right? You know it's a problem, right? And he poops his pants.
We call it migrant crime. I call it Biden migrant crime. They're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen before.
You should say, I predicted this, do you remember?
Yeah. Incredible young girls over the last few days.
Call me Nostradamus.
And he just had the funeral for this girl, 12 years old. This is horrible what's taken place. What's taken place in our country, we're literally an uncivilized country now. He doesn't want it to be. He just doesn't know. He opened the borders. Nobody's ever seen anything like. And we have to get a lot of these people out, and we have to get them out fast.
They forgot to coach Biden on his face. And I mean it. They forgot to coach him on his face. Close your mouth and look alert.
Look at He's never looked older.
No, you're right. He's never looked worse.
He's never looked older.
Has Biden ever looked worse? I don't think so.
He's not enough.
This is an open casket funeral.
Yeah. It's way worse than I thought it was going to be.
Trump sounds the same as he did in 2020.
Biden reversed 89 Trump border policies by executive order. 89. He didn't just screw it up. He made it a priority, folks.
The thing that Crowder just brought up is that Biden overrode 89 Trump executive orders regarding the border.
Every single thing.
Drink anytime.
So it's like, yes, absolutely, this whole border is Biden's fault.
1 million of them now.
There is no way he can pin this on Trump.
Their families have it because what happened, whether it was Agent Orange or burn pits, they're all being covered now. And he opposed that. Also in a situation where...
Wait, he's talking about Vietnam pits?
Brigade of Miso Horny.
About those heroes that died. I went to
Which one, Joe?
He just called Trump a sucker.
That last moment. That, by the way, when you have no authority, Biden has to, they say, do the cleaning. Oh, my. Joe, you look like Dirty Harry just then.
Nobody's taking
Thank you, Chris.
I'm so glad this came up. And he brought it up. There's nobody that's taken better care of our soldiers than I have. The things that I would confront generals and others say, suckers and losers. We have 19 people that said it was never said by me. It was made up by him, just like Russia.
Bring up the battery deck, everybody.
Here we go.
Just like the 51 intelligence agents are made up. Just like the new thing with the 16 economists are talking, it's the same thing. 51 intelligence agents said that the laptop was Russia disinformation. It wasn't. That came from his son Hunter.
Oh,
it
references
wasn't Russia disinformation. He made up the suckers and
refill.
So he should apologize.
If this was a fight, they'd stop it.
4-star general standing to your side who was on your staff who said
Sorry, what?
Said it. Period. That's number one. And number two, the idea that I have to apologize to you for anything along the line. We've done more for veterans than any president has.
How about prosecuting him? How about saying that you wouldn't allow him to become president?
Look now or their family. The only sacred obligation we have as a country is to care for our veterans when they come home and their families and equip them when they go to war.
Yeah, you only care for them if they're a 6-year-old girl named Beth.
Were you looking at your watch when the caskets are coming up?
No one buys it. No one buys that Joe Biden is going to be stronger on the border. No one buys. Even Democrats don't buy that he's better for the military. They just can't sell it.
Trump has a record.
There's my man. There's my country, buddy.
I don't have any refill for water, but refill for Steve now. I'm running sauce.
We had a real president that was respected by Putin. Now, much more than people know. You know, they talk about numbers. You can double those numbers, maybe triple those numbers. He did nothing to stop it. In fact, I think he encouraged Russia from going in.
Here, hold up. I need to back this up a little bit because there is a pretty good line here.
He'll only end this war if Russia keeps the Ukrainian territory it has already claimed.
So this is
and Ukraine
Trump
abandons
Ukraine.
its bid to join NATO. Are Putin's terms acceptable to you?
First of all, our veterans and our soldiers can't stand this guy. They can't stand him. They think he's the worst commander-in-chief.
He just came out after Biden was like,
I don't have any refills here, so I'll drink water, but
I'm the best for the military. And Trump just goes, look, the military can't stand Biden.
I want him sauce.
He just openly stated it.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
A lot of people are dead right now, much more than people know. You know, they talk about numbers. You can double those numbers, maybe triple those numbers.
Thank you.
He did nothing to stop it. In fact, I think he encouraged Russia from going in. I'll tell you what happened. He was so bad with Afghanistan. It was such a horrible, embarrassing, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country that when Putin watched that and he saw the incompetence that he should have fired those generals like I fired the one that you mentioned. And so he's got no love lost. But he should have fired those generals. No general.
Oh, he's speaking to someone else.
The most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, Afghanistan, where we left billions of dollars of equipment behind. We lost 13 beautiful soldiers.
That was Wolf Blitzer. He had to take a dump.
And by the way, we left people behind too. We left American citizens behind. When Putin saw that, he
also
said,
giant pallets of cash and helicopters that they couldn't even fly. Look at this! I pimped my copter!
The difference is he never would have invaded
the theory that
Ukraine. Never.
Putin saw that and said, you know what?
Of course, the world sees weakness.
In a million years.
The point Trump is making here, he's being a little long-winded, is that the world is seeing weakness. You compare both Obama and Biden to Donald Trump. No new war started. With Biden, you look at the North Korea-Russia alliance, which is a very unlikely alliance. You look at the Ukraine war. You look at the war that's happened in Israel. You look at the Afghanistan withdrawal. You look at the strengthening of ISIS. You look at the Iran nuclear deal. You look at under Obama, Crimea. It's undeniable. Code Pink, where are you? You cackling hags?
I've never heard so much malarkey in my whole life. Look, the fact of the matter is that we're in a situation where, let's take the last point first.
Okay, good.
Attacked American troops, kill, cause brain damage for a number of these troops, and he did nothing about it.
Were you one of them?
He was president. They attacked. He said they're just having headaches. That's all it is. And he didn't do a thing when the attack took place, number one. Number two.
Did he just say that Donald Trump said they're just having headaches to troops who were attacked? Is that what he just implied?
Was he talking about the troops, or is that with the ambassadors? Remember the sound thing?
Yeah. I don't know who he was talking about. He's incoherent.
This guy told Trump, do whatever you want, and do whatever you want. And that's exactly what Trump did. To Putin, encourage him, do whatever you want.
What he meant to say is that's what Putin did.
Right.
But he said that's what Trump did. Because he's retarded.
Right. He's never been older.
Let's not tar and feather the good name of all the old people in this country who aren't serial incestuous pedophiles, okay? He's just a bad person and his soul is escaping his body.
I just want to go back to my original question.
Never sounded older. I'm older.
But look, this is a war that never should have started. If we had a leader in this war, he led everybody along. He's given $200 billion now or more to Ukraine. He's given $200 billion. That's a lot of money.
They're going to fact check and say that's false. It's pledged. It doesn't mean it's been delivered yet. The principle's the same. A lot of money. Zelensky has 2 yachts.
Look at Joe.
And I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking anything.
Look, he hasn't blinked in a minute.
The money that we're spending on this war, and we shouldn't be spending, it should have never happened. I will have that war settled between Putin and Zelensky as president-elect before I take office on January 20th. I'll have that war settled.
I want to say something really quickly. Remember when he said, I'll have that war settled. People go, oh, these crazy promises. Remember when he said, we're going to put the embassy in Jerusalem? Remember when he said, you're going to have peace with Israel in the Middle East? You're going to have that. People said, no way. We had 2 peace accords that we've never seen in our lifetime and no new wars. Remember that. When he made a promise before, remember he said, we're going to see 4% growth, right, as far as GDP?
Yep.
He did it.
Not just a peace.
He did it.
The Middle East thing was the most amazing thing to me. Even I was questioning whether that was fair.
If he takes Ukraine, what do you think happens to Poland? What do you think of Belarus? What do you think happens to those NATO countries? And so if you want a war, you ought to find out what he's going to do, because if in fact he does what he says and walks away, by the way, all that money we give Ukraine, the weapons we make here in the United States, we give them the weapons, not the money at this point. And our NATO allies.
Oh, so giant kickbacks to no-bid weapons contractors. Then he'll turn around and bitch about the military industrial complex.
It's to Honeywell.
Thank you. Moving on to the Middle East. In October,
I think now they'll be made by KitchenAid.
Israel, killing more than 1,000 people and taking hundreds
Hey, Joe,
of hostages.
bend over.
I have a blender that doubles as a hydrogen bomb.
Americans. Israel's response has killed thousands of Palestinians and created a humanitarian crisis in Gaza.
Shut up.
President Biden, you've put forward a proposal to resolve this conflict. But so far, Hamas has not released the remaining hostages, and Israel is continuing its military offensive in Gaza.
She's been using brain
So what additional leverage will you use to get Hamas and Israel to end the war?
Look scared.
Number one.
Did you go number one?
No, it's number two. It's always number two.
Security Council, straight through the G7 to the Israelis, and Netanyahu himself have endorsed the plan.
This guy makes RFK Jr. sound like Pavarotti.
No, they're saying that Israel is. If he just said that Israel's endorsed the plan, the plan that they're talking about is a plan that Israel had nothing to do with.
I like that guy.
The only one who wants the war to continue is Hamas.
This is really shitty for Biden because the radical leftists love Hamas and he has to act like he doesn't. It's tough for him.
Yeah.
Plus, he's retarded.
Was 2,000-pound bombs.
And they don't like him because they think he's doing too much for Israel.
People. They're providing Israel with all the weapons they need and when they need them. And by the way, I'm the guy that organized the world against Iran when they had a full-blown intercontinental ballistic missile attack on Israel.
You also said we shouldn't kill bin Laden, remember that?
You also unfroze, was it $6 billion to Iran? I believe it was $6 billion is the number we're looking for. The ship was the SS Minnow.
He's never been right on a military.
Not once.
No, the thing is, too, is what they're saying is absolutely correct. Joe Biden has never been on the right side of a piece of foreign legislation or foreign policy, literally forever. He has never been on the right side.
He sounds like a little kid on the stand in Miracle on 34th Street.
He has always been with the more evil side.
We're only 36 minutes in.
Sounds like Brian Piccolo after the second tour.
Imagine
Get the reference.
my second term and my wife.
Who would have believed it, Wolf?
Ocean separating us.
Who would have believed it?
The European nations together have spent $100 billion, or maybe more than that, less than us. Why doesn't he call them and say you got to put up your money like I did with NATO? I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. The Secretary General.
Dude, Biden seriously looks like he's just surprised at everything that's going on.
It looks like one flew over the cuckoo's nest. You know what I mean? When they're all doped up?
Yeah. You're coming back on the boat?
He didn't do that. You got to ask these people to put up the money. We're over $100 billion more spent, and it has a bigger impact on them because of location, because we have an ocean in between. You got to ask them. As far as Israel and Hamas, Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one that wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go and let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian. But they don't like him because he's a very bad Palestinian. He's a weak one.
Thug life drink.
He's a very bad Palestinian. It's like there's any other kind. What? Come on.
It's like maybe. Depends on if they pay.
There's the little Palestinian that could. Don't you remember? I think I can kill Jews. I think I can kill Jews.
What happens if, in fact, you continue to go into NATO? You have an Article 5 agreement. Attack on one is attack on all. You want to start the nuclear war.
And you want to make Ukraine part of NATO.
Go in and control
Think about that.
Ukraine and then move on to Poland and other places. See what happens then. He has no idea what the hell he's talking about. And by the way, I got 50 other nations around the world to support Ukraine.
Look at the difference. Look at away from the puck.
Right.
Look at Trump's face, Donald Trump's face when Biden is talking. He's alert and he's going, I got him. I got him dead to rights, just like when he showered with his daughter. He's got him. Whereas Biden's going, huh? Shit.
President Trump, just to follow up.
Literally.
Would you support the creation of an independent Palestinian state in order to achieve peace in the region?
That's a stupid question. You're a stupid bitch.
I call it Mar-a-Lago West.
Spend all the money. So they kill us on trade. I made great trade deals with the European nations. Because if you add them up, they're about the same size economically. Their economy is about the same size as the United States. And they were no cars. No, they don't want anything that we have. But we're supposed to take their cars, their food, their everything, their agriculture. I changed that. But the big thing I changed is they don't want to pay. And the only reason that he can play games with NATO is because I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. I said, And he's right.
You got to be clear on NATO, guys. Let's fact check this. You're supposed to spend 2% of your GDP. The United States was the only nation that had done it, and then under Donald Trump, they finally started getting close. So we foot the bill for the rest of the world, and Europe hates us until they say, "Oh, please, we hope the Americans come save us." That's a sort of amalgamation of all the shitty European accents.
That's pretty good.
It's a melange.
I heard a little Angela Merkel.
We're paying everybody's bills.
Let's turn to the issue of democracy. Former President Trump.
The issue of democracy.
After you rallied your supporters that day, some of them stormed the Capitol.
Of course, they're talking January 6th.
Trump's ready for this, I guarantee you. He's going to say, "You won't show it, but I told them peacefully." But watch, he's ready.
Preserve, protect, and defend, unquote, the Constitution. What do you say to voters who believe that you violated that oath through your actions?
They listen to you too much, Jake.
January 6th, and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I don't think too many believe that. And let me tell you about January 6th. On January 6th, we had a great border. Nobody coming through, very few. On January 6th, we were energy independent. On January 6th, we had the lowest taxes ever. We had the lowest regulations ever. On January 6th, we were respected all over the world. Right. All over the world, we were respected. Bring it home. And then he comes in, and we're now laughed at. We're like a bunch of stupid people.
He's pivoting.
What happened to the United States' reputation under this man's leadership is horrible.
Watch, they're going to follow up and ask him about the specifics of January 6th. They won't let him do it.
I didn't like that.
They won't let him do it because they want to try and hang him on it. But guess what? It won't work.
No, it won't work. But I wouldn't accept.
What'd I tell you?
They're pinning. They're trying to pin him on it.
That was too much of a pivot. Too obvious.
2021, and worry that you'll do it again.
Well, I didn't say that to anybody. I said peacefully and patriotically. And Nancy Pelosi.
That's what he should have said.
News from 2 days ago.
Trump 24. Get $24 off of Mug Club because we will be there election night to cover that victory and to protect it with boots on the ground and real-time data so that democracy doesn't die in darkness. How about that, Wapo? That's not copyrighted. If it is, let me, bro.
I already got a room at the La Quinta in Milwaukee.
No,
Vice presidential suite.
We couldn't afford La Quinta. It's an Airbnb on the south side.
I had virtually nothing to do. They asked me to go make a speech. I could see what was happening. Everybody was saying they're going to be there on January 6th. They're going to be there. And I said, you know what? There's a lot of people coming. You could feel it. You could feel it too, and you could feel it. And I said, they ought to have some National Guard or whatever. And I offered it to her, and she now admits that
she did admit
it
that.
Down.
There we go. She admitted on the HBO show.
Yep. Nancy Pelosi openly admitted they should have taken the extra security on January 6th.
President Biden?
Look, he encouraged those folks to go and capture him, number one.
What did he say?
I sat in that dining room off the Oval Office. He sat there for 3 hours. 3 hours watching, being begged by his vice president and a number of his colleagues in the Republican.
Do you notice the trend here? Biden is doing the Ferris Bueller girl defense. I know someone who said this, who said that, who was there. His vice president said this. These generals said this. These border people said this. Nothing empirical. Because he's an empty suit wrapped in a depends.
He says he wants to commute their sentences and say that no, he went to every single court in the nation. I don't know how many cases, scores of cases, including the Supreme Court, and they said, no, this guy is responsible for doing what was done. He didn't do a damn thing, and these people should be in jail, and they should be the ones.
Yeah, if the January 6th people are in jail, every rioter in 2020 for Black Lives Matter should also be in jail.
Think about how terrifying that is. These people should be in jail. These people spent 1.5 years in jail for trespassing when they were invited in, and you knew it, Joe. And so did Kinzinger, and so did Liz Cheney. As far as I'm concerned, that's as close as it gets to treason, which we all know the penalty for treason. When he just said they should be in jail, that's American citizens. Take the dumbest one of the lot, the QAnon shaman. He said be peaceful and was invited in. This president wants to talk about democracy. If you disagree with him and he can catch you on it, he wants you in jail. The good news is he has 70,000 new IRS agents to enforce it. You think that maybe you wrote off a business expense you shouldn't? A haircut? Guess what? He thinks you should be in jail. That's an authoritarian prick. That's Mussolini without the fucking charm.
Yeah, don't be bringing the guineas into this.
I apologize. Pol Pot. Okay.
Gone now, out of office. And Democrats, all Democrats, they destroyed and deleted all of the information they found because they found out we were right. We were right. and they deleted and destroyed all of the information. They should go to jail for that. If a Republican did that, they'd go to jail.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, I want to give you a minute.
Is he talking about
He's talking about the commission, January 6th.
This man I'm looking at right now.
Brought up his felony drink.
Oh, yeah.
Bring the drinking game rules back up.
Not true.
For people who are new to the stream.
Nobody believes that, Joe.
Anytime he brings up his felonies.
In Capitol Hill.
Felony, Biden moment, Thug Life moment, moderator comes along.
Biden brings up his felonies. Trump references Hunter Biden. Finish the drink when Biden freezes or uncomfortably long type of pause, or if he poops.
Which I think we have one
so
potential.
for any time he brings up that Trump is an actual felon, they should have prosecuted Biden for unlawfully holding classified documents. The only reason they didn't was because the special prosecutor that was looking into it determined Biden was too old and senile to be brought in front of a jury on it. That's the only reason he was never formally charged.
Hold on. Did you see? He never allows Donald Trump to toss it to Biden, but if he thinks Biden's a gotcha, he asks Trump to answer.
Maybe too senile to be sitting president.
Opponents, you just talked about members of the Select Committee on January 6th going to jail. Your main political opponent is standing on stage with you tonight. Can you clarify exactly what it means about you feeling you have every right to go after your political opponents?
Well, I said my retribution is going to be success. We're going to make this country successful again, because right now it's a failing nation. My retribution is going to be success. But when he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon at a very high level. His son is convicted, going to be convicted probably.
Mentioned Hunter Biden. Bring up the drinking game rules, people who are missing it.
His Justice Department let the statute of limitations lapse on the most important things. But he could be a convicted felon as soon as he gets out of office. Joe could be a convicted felon.
Moderator's going to say that's not true, that's conjecture. Watch.
He's done horrible things. All of the death caused at the border, telling
the moderators are going to protect Biden on this. Watch.
You want $1 billion, or you change the prosecutor. Otherwise, you're not getting $1 billion. If I ever said that, that's quid pro quo. That we're not going to do anything. We're not going to give you $1 billion unless you change your prosecutor having to do with the son. This man is a criminal. This man, you're lucky. You're lucky. I did nothing wrong. We'd have a system that was rigged and disgusting. I did nothing wrong.
I love it.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, I'm coming right to you, sir. I
got to go to bed.
Over here. A minute to respond.
He's giving him I told you. What did I tell you? Yeah. It's one of the rare instances where he's going to cover for him.
What you're talking about is outrageous. It's simply a lie, number one. Number two,
that's all he said.
Idea
outrageous. Okay, Johnny Cochran.
Against any American.
Said
just because you're president is wrong.
Johnny Cochran.
Wrong. No president's ever spoken like that before.
He's saying that President Trump is going to seek retribution against Americans. He said our retribution is going to be success.
With their 9-year-old daughter before, but I guess there's a first for all of us.
It is going to be, we are going to have a kick butt country again because I'm going to allow the people to do what they need to do to succeed.
Of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife.
How about sex with your niece?
What are you talking about? You have the morals.
Joe, what's the name of your granddaughter you denied for how many years?
Number one. Number two, that was a case that was started and moved.
Make sure you pivot.
A high-ranking official, a DOJ, into the Manhattan DA's office to start that case.
True.
That case is
Perry and attack. Perry and attack. Don't spend time on it.
Very terrible judge, a horrible judge, Democrat. The prosecutor.
Just say it's bogus. Go right to Biden.
Democrats appointed people, and both the civil and the criminal. He basically went after
too much time. Perry, go to Biden.
He thought it was going to damage me, but when the public found out about these cases, because they understand it better than he does, he has no idea what these cases are. But when they found out about these cases, you know what they did? My poll numbers went up way up. You know that because you're reporting it. And we took in more money in the last 2 weeks than we've ever taken in the history.
Good. He's pivoted to the bogus conviction, not the.
Any campaign has ever taken. Hundreds of millions of dollars came pouring in because the public knows it's a scam and it's a guy that's after his political opponent because he can't win fair and square.
Thank you, President.
There you go.
Biden,
Thug-like moment.
Quote, Donald Trump and his MAGA Republicans.
Biden already lost this election with that giant freeze he couldn't recover.
Listen, he's feeding him a good one.
The tens of millions of Americans who are likely to vote for President Trump will be voting against American democracy?
The more they know about what he's done, yes.
That's a layup.
The more they know about what he's done.
I know.
And there's a lot more coming.
Softball down the middle.
Cases down the road coming out.
He really is a piece of shit, Jake.
He's got a whole range of issues he has to face. I don't know what the juries will do.
He just here's one thing that Donald Trump never does.
So the fact that
he's never attacked the Democrat voters. He's only attacked the Democrat Party. Joe Biden just attacked the voters. He hates you. Do you understand this? Do you understand that the left actually hates you? He just told you that you are voting against democracy if you vote against him. This is the guy who said that Donald Trump would not be candidate. He will use any legal remedies possible available at his disposal. He hates you. They are trying to steal the election from you, and it's not Dominion. It's not the ghost of Chavez. Biden hates you. Donald Trump doesn't hate the Democrat voter. He genuinely feels empathy because he knows that they're being tricked. Biden is the one who's trying to trick you. Trump 24, we are going to be there election night, and I am going to be pissed. You can remove me from YouTube. You can remove me from Twitter. You can remove us from Facebook. I don't give a shit. Strike us all. Strike as many times as you want. Just expect a strike back. These people hate you, and they don't want the United States of America to remain the fucking United States of America. He just insulted half the country, not the political leadership. That's not normal, Joe. It's not normal. You're sick.
He did it a year into his presidency.
100% exoneration on this. So he just keeps it going. He says he ran because of Charlottesville. He didn't run because of Charlottesville. He ran because it was his last chance. He's not equipped to be president. You know it, and I know it. It's ridiculous. We have a debate. We're trying to justify his presidency. His presidency, he's without question the worst president, the worst presidency in the history of our country. We shouldn't be having a debate about it. There's nothing to debate. He made up the Charlottesville story, and you'll see it's debunked all over the place. Every anchor has, every reasonable anchor has.
They even just admitted it. Snopes just admitted it. He said, "I'm condemning neo-Nazis and white supremacists totally." Biden has last election's talking points.
Biden looks like a painting of a president on a wall at the White House.
Yeah, yeah. If someone like accidentally sprayed insecticide on it and it got all weepy.
Listen. Somehow that's the only reason I ran. I ran because I was worried a guy like this guy could get elected.
You ran in 1988 and you had to be booted for plagiarism, you old coot.
You weren't bright, but you were bright.
It's funny. Biden just said that he ran for president specifically because he was worried about Trump. Biden has been running for president since 1988.
We saw the people breaking the window.
And he had to withdraw in disgrace because he plagiarized numerous speeches.
44 top cabinet officers refused to endorse him this time.
So the fact that he even thinks he can get away with saying, "Oh, I'm in it to protect people from Trump." No, you're in it because you're a lifelong politician.
Yeah, talk about unlikable.
First commercial break. Okay, first commercial break. Look, guys, with a major announcement. By the way, again, first off, Trump 24. Enter in that promo code at ladderwithcrowder.com/mugclub. We are going to
I 100% agree.
Legacy Media. No one has the infrastructure that we have. It's cost millions of dollars. We need quite a bit more to make sure that we have everything that could possibly be tracked down every single rabbit hole we can go down.
When he's not speaking, he's just dead.
Election night, November 5th,
He looks like he has no idea where he is.
Oh yeah, no, he's just completely dead in the eyes. His mouth is open. And then when Jake Tapper's talking to him, his mouth is open and he is intently staring at him like he is desperately trying to understand what's coming out of Jake's mouth.
Hey, do it like we rehearsed. These are good people.
It's just like...
And something else, too. I want to toss this really quickly. You can subscribe to this. A lot of you have asked, hey, I don't know where to start because you're overloaded in the information tech age. And if information is everywhere, information is kind of nowhere. So we are launching a new podcast. You can subscribe to it tomorrow on the Ladder with Crowder Network or Mug Club Network, wherever you subscribe to this show on audio. It's called 3 in 3. It's 3 key facts on any given topic that you care about most in 3 minutes or less, and we make all of the references publicly available. In my time here, working not only on this show, but being at Fox News, actually at CNN, HLN, appearing on MSNBC, BBC, Sky News, invariably you will come into 3 arguments that make up 90% of the arguments that you'll hear. 3 kind of key issues. If you have 3 key facts and know them well, you can have a firm grasp, 3 minutes or less. We are launching it anywhere podcasts are available tomorrow. Here's a sample. Welcome to 3 3 and 3. 3 key facts in 3 minutes or less on the topics you care about most. Immigration. Key fact number 1, the annual cost of illegal immigration to the American taxpayer. According to the Federation for American Immigration Reform, in 2023, illegal immigration cost the United States, meaning the taxpayer, at least $150 billion. Some note the costs as high as $451 billion, as reported by House Republicans. Key fact number 2, the relative cost of the border wall. Most estimates for the one-time cost of President Donald Trump's proposed border wall come in between $11 billion and $20 billion, with the biggest outlier being a 2017 estimate by Senate Democrats that put the cost at $70 billion. So comparing key fact number 1 and 2, the cost of the border wall, splitting the difference at $20 billion or so, would still be far less than the recurring cost of a minimum of $150 billion all the way up until $451 billion. Key fact number 3, illegal immigration and crime. While the numbers are granted hard to study because there haven't been many thorough studies conducted on the matter, we do know that illegal immigrants make up 27% currently of the federal prison population, while only making up 9% of the general population. And of course, a key bonus fact here is that 100% of crimes committed by illegal immigrants could never have happened in the first place. This has been 3 and 3. I'm Steven Crowder. If you want to learn more, you can peruse the references for this specific show at 3keyfacts.com or tune in to the hour-long daily show, Louder with Crowder, weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern on Rumble, YouTube, or right here anywhere you get your podcasts.
So, how can I help you?
What the heck was that?
That was another commercial,
All right,
but we're back.
Back
so
to the debate. It has been a bloodbath so far. Joe Biden is barely on his feet.
Leave it to me.
And it's way worse. Give me the music here. I need to hear speaker in here, please, sir.
Causes, and Black Americans are imprisoned at 5 times the rate of white Americans. What do you say to Black voters who are disappointed that you haven't made more progress?
Unbelievable.
Stop breaking the law.
Unbelievable.
We were all on the same page.
She just asked that question. What is this, 1958? It's simple.
Black unemployment is the lowest.
Jesus H.
Saying the same thing.
Number 3, we're trying to provide
If Joe wanted to have a chance, he'd go, he commit a lot of crime.
Dealing with the segregation that exists among these corporate.
This guy hung out with Bird, by the way.
That collude.
You just had a break, Joe.
People out of their
He went to
houses.
Bird's funeral.
And in addition to that, we
played the
find
trumpet.
that the impact
We already have a nigger mayor. We don't need any more nigger big shots.
Choice.
Continue, Joe.
That sound drop was Senator Joe Biden back in the 90s. That was a Joe Biden who said that, everyone who was watching or listening.
Sounds worse.
Look what they did to my boy.
Yeah, Biden hung out with an actual Ku Klux Klan member.
Pull it
He
up
spoke
right
at
now.
his
Border
funeral.
Patrol Union just put this out. To be clear, we never have and never will endorse Biden. Fact check.
Oh, baby.
Boom.
I'm coming right back.
Yeah, the Border Patrol put out a tweet shortly after Biden claimed they endorsed him. And they said, nope, we have never nor ever will endorse Biden.
I'm disappointed. Inflation is still hurting them badly. For example, I provided for the idea that any Black family, first-time home buyer, should get a $10,000 tax credit to be able to buy their first home so they can get started. I made sure that in a situation where all those Black families and those Black individuals provided, I think that they can street loans that were prolonged, things like bank aids and nursing, and anything having to do with volunteerism. If they paid their bills for 10 years and their student debt, all the rest was forgiven after 10 years. Millions have benefited from that. And we're going to do a whole lot more for Black families.
Thank you, President Trump.
Well, they don't like you.
Inflation. He's blaming inflation, and he's right. It's been very bad. He caused the inflation, and it's killing Black families and Hispanic families. And just
No, that's abortion, but close enough.
It's killing people. They can't buy groceries anymore. They can't. You look at the cost of food, where it's doubled,
They're going to have to start stealing
tripled, and quadrupled. They can't live. They're not living anymore. he caused this inflation. I gave him
blacks. Vote for Trump.
I love that. All he had to do was leave it alone.
Perfect. Right. It was so good. All he had to do was leave it alone. He destroyed it with his Green New Scam and all of the other.
Nice. Oh, Green New Scam. That's good.
I could use a refill. The fact is that his
black voters in the 2020 election, Donald Trump got 7. Now he's at 18, and he's winning Latinos.
Look at Joe. They're taking black jobs and they're taking Hispanic jobs. And you haven't seen it
that's
yet,
the thing. That's the thing that no one's talking about with the illegals. They are all taking the black communities, what has been typically black jobs. You know, when I was down in Florida back in 2012, there was a lot of black people working on the construction crews.
That's right.
At the time.
There's not a lot of people working on the construction crews right now.
25% of your jobs, Joe, are government jobs, by the way. That's 3 times more than Trump. You can add 70,000 new IRS employees. Sorry,
and
not agents.
A lot of black people
claim it's an actual job, but it's not.
You're like some of the black
to give it to
construction managers that I know. They're like, yeah,
every single shift.
It has gone down significantly.
They're going to try again if they win. We find ourselves in a position where the idea that we're not doing it, we put more police on the street than any administration has. He wants to cut the cops. We're providing for equity.
What?
Equity and making
he's saying Trump wants to cut cops.
We don't care about equity. We care about equality, Joe.
Get him a Socrates.
Tremendous malfeasance in the way he handled the pandemic.
Thank you. Another persistent challenge is the climate crisis.
No, the climate crisis is not a persistent challenge. Right now, it is pulling dead last in what people care about.
Stronger hurricanes and rising sea levels.
Rising sea levels. Yeah, look at the differences between the 1920s and now. There is no change in the sea levels.
Weather.
Let me just go back to what he said about.
I could go back to that live, please.
Thunderstorms. Almost every police group in the nation from every state is supporting Donald J. Trump. Almost every police group. And what he's done to the black population is horrible, including the fact that for 10 years he called them super predators. We can't
one hit point of damage.
Super predators was his name, and he called it to him.
What else did he call him?
Well, Hillary. I remember Hillary saying that.
Really quickly, bring up the soundbite. Just do it once. Do it again. Hurry.
He got it from Hillary, though.
Once again, sound drop from Bite.
Yes.
Oh, Tim Scott
forgot about that one.
Incredible. He did a great job. Great senator from South Carolina.
And I say this as a known racist.
It was a great idea. It's one of the most successful economic development
really is true, though.
Ever in the country.
He's way more of a racist than Trump.
And the biggest beneficiary.
Joe Biden is an absolute racist. 100%.
Yep. 1993, Biden warned about predators on our streets, referring to black men.
Double since last year, his support from black
population, because he's done a horrible job for black people. He's also done a horrible job for Eskimos. But when you see these millions of people pouring into our country and they're going to take the jobs, and it's already started, and you haven't seen anything yet, it's a disaster.
38 seconds left. President Trump.
Ooh, he didn't use all his time. Look at that. You asked for discipline? You got it. You want discipline? Here's a push-up contest.
Clean water, and I want absolutely clean air, and we had it. We had H2O. We had the best.
We had H2O.
My favorite Halloween. Josh Hartnett.
All forms of energy.
Busta Rhymes.
And yet, during my 4 years, I had the best
H2O
ever. And my top environmental people gave me that statistic just before I walked on the stage, actually.
He's not even using all his time.
I know.
He's so confident.
Anything he said is true.
Biden just lost the election tonight, folks. We'll put up a poll. He lost it. Watch the media tomorrow go into hyperdrive to try and spin this as a draw. And we're going to have Alex Jones on later because he's been going through it to talk about this tonight. The persecution is coming to an end, and I mean it. I truly believe it.
They have to build these laboratories and the like. Any black student is capable of college and only white students can do. They just have the money, but now if they get those jobs.
Yeah, he's talking about helping black students get into college. Yeah, do you want to know what would help more students get into college? Get rid of the federal student loan industry.
As much as Joe Biden loves being racist.
I immediately joined it because if we reach 1.5 degrees Celsius at any one point, there's no way back.
Okay, follow me here.
Threat to humanity is climate change. And he did the
I can't hear you over there. Yeah.
Biden has no. Look at this. He has no confidence right now while Donald Trump talks. Donald Trump, confident when Biden talks.
Absolutely.
It's like a good actor away from the puck. You can tell by the reaction.
And it was a disaster. But everything that he said just now, I'll give you an example. I heard him say before insulin. I'm the one that got the insulin down for the seniors. I took care of the seniors. What he's doing is destroying all of our medical programs because the
Drink will bring up a fact check and make the reference publicly available. Donald Trump brought down the cost of insulin. Joe Biden claimed he invented insulin.
And I want to take care of people, but we're destroying our country.
Penicillin.
They're taking over our schools,
No,
our hospitals.
he claimed he invented insulin.
I was kidding. Social Security.
He actually did that.
He is destroying Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
We haven't even touched.
Boom! Look, done.
The idea is that
haven't even touched on DEI yet.
We were the only ones of consequence who were not members of the Paris Accord. How could we do anything?
What about China, Joe?
The United States can't get us.
Yeah, that's the big thing about global warming that nobody talks about is China and India. China and India are not doing a dang thing about global warming, and anything we do is completely negated by China and India.
Every single one of you stopped driving and even stopped public transit, stopped your gas stoves, stopped heating and cooling your houses tomorrow, it would make zero difference because China doesn't give a shit. And they're not in the accord.
He has the biggest heart up here, and he's really concerned about.
Check. There you go. Thank you. That's why we have the best team in the world. Thank you, guys.
I thought that was a pride patch.
Oh, by the way, with
what kind of show is it?
Prescription drugs. One company.
We don't want to split the demo.
One company.
The price to $35, which I was calling for. One voluntarily. I made sure every company in the world, every pharmaceutical company, can.
Look at Donald.
Thank you.
Look at Donald.
By the way.
For the record, he stopped because he was at time.
Yeah, I know he stopped and he was at time, but he completely blew it.
Why'd he stop?
No, the guy next to Crowder missed the fact that the moderator stopped him.
Right,
and enter in the promo code Biden sucks. 20% off. You get merch like this. I'm voting for the.
I think Biden's been seeing the light all night.
I love it. Go do it right now. 20% off BidenSucks.com.
6% of their income, of their paycheck, every single time they get a paycheck, every time the first one they get, when 18 years old. The idea that they're gonna, I'm proposing that everybody, they pay, the millionaires pay 1%. So
top 50% of earners pay 97% of taxes. Fact check true.
And how many jobs
50% pay 97% of taxes. And when Donald Trump took office, we had the highest corporate tax rate in the industrialized world. That means more than Germany. That means more than France. That means more than England. That means more than any place you can name. We used to be behind the liberal progressives in Europe and the old world. We've now superseded them.
The biggest thing we'll do is we defeat this man. Because he wants to get rid of Social Security. He thinks there's plenty to.
You're not trying to defeat a man now, Joe. You are fighting a specter. You are fighting a shadow that looms over you, and you are terrified. There aren't enough depends in the world to save your slacks.
I believe supports is in fact want to cut it as well.
I have no idea. I don't know what slacks are.
We need to protect our seniors. It's ridiculous. And by the way,
see, here's the thing: Social Security 100% needs to go away, but it needs to go away within the next 20 years.
You're in a circumstance where 400,000
if you're 40 and younger, you shouldn't be able to get Social Security
because they have a pre-existing condition. Only allows them to
because it's a Ponzi scheme, 100%.
And by the way, the other thing is, we're in a situation where we talk about education for black communities. I've raised the the amount of money for Pell Grants. Another $8,000.
But you haven't raised the performance, Joe. The key demographic here cares about the performance. The key metric that matters is performance, Joe. Bring up the fact check. There are more people in schools in America, especially black schools in America, I don't remember the district, who are actually scoring a majority, are failing literacy and basic math. And that's new. That's new, Joe. It's new.
How long have we been throwing money at that problem? Since I was 10. That's right, the early 40s.
We mentioned Russia, Ukraine.
What they're saying is absolutely true. All they've been doing is throwing money at the education problem, and it's just not doing anything. So let's just stop throwing money at the problem. Let's actually demand more of the educators.
He's destroying it. Because millions of people are pouring into our country, and they're putting them onto Social Security. They're putting them onto
$150 billion to $425 billion.
Yeah, they're totally giving Medicare and Medicaid to
American
illegals
taxpayer.
here in
Fact check
California.
that shit. It's not even close. $20 billion to build a wall. That's
because they're people
true.
too, and
$150 billion, low end, $425 billion.
Basic
you don't
human
think
rights.
that takes
Yeah,
money from
they can
Social
pay
Security?
for it like everyone else.
Donald Trump is on it tonight. Joe
cursed.
Biden just lost the
If they're
election. The
illegal
media can't
immigrants,
fix it.
then they can go get it from whatever country that they're legal citizens of.
Trump 24, lidarwithcreditor.com/mugclub, $24 off. We'll be there.
That general got fired.
Link in the description. Click the link. It makes it easy. Or you're gay.
Click the button on Rumble.
Oh, grab that as a walk.
Number one. Number two.
And it was 40% in Baltimore, Stephen.
What is it? 49% of high schools.
40% of high schools in Baltimore
had zero
students test proficient in math.
Yeah, proficient. 46% of all schools in Baltimore had zero.
I believe I was told there would be no math.
40% had zero. I'm looking at the small screen.
That math be racist, man.
That's right, bro.
Yeah, that's what happens when you teach black kids that math is racist.
Special ed programs.
That is an absolute truth. They are teaching black kids that math is racist. Not everywhere, but in enough places for it to make news.
159 presidential scholars voted that him the worst.
He keeps going. I know a guy who knows somebody who said something. It's not gonna win the American people.
He's
flailing.
Flailing is right.
Have tried to address this issue, but the average cost of child care in this country has risen to more than $11,000 a year per child.
Yeah, we wonder why it's risen to more than $11,000 a year. It's called inflation, Jake.
Or just don't acknowledge him like his granddaughter.
In your second
No, you kill the fetuses.
to make child care more affordable.
Just to go back, the general got fired because he was no good. And if he said that, that's why he made it up. But we have 19 people that said I didn't say it, and they're very highly respected, much more so than him. The other thing is,
even came out and said that he didn't say that.
Yep. Fact check true. Snopes said he didn't say it. Biden is using talking points that are so old, it's not even close. That's the wrong Snopes.
Not the very fine people one.
Not easier to fire
Anybody want to bet me?
The one about losers and suckers.
Yeah, losers and suckers.
I inherited this.
Does anybody want to bet me there'll be a new nominee?
I know.
2 weeks.
Gavin Newsom's there tonight. That happened.
You and I have been simpatico.
Every military man that was involved with that the Afghanistan horror show, the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. He didn't fire. Did you fire anybody? Did you fire anybody that's on the border that's allowed us to have the worst border
that's the
in
big
history
thing.
of the world? Did
We have had terrible policy after terrible policy after terrible policy. Nobody gets fired.
We're going to fact check him and say it's only 8 million, not 18 million, but those are just the apprehensions at the southern border that we know about. He did overreach there a little bit. Guarantee you that's a conservative estimate, but we have 8 million confirmed.
The worst president. He just said about me because I said it. But look, he's the worst president in the history of our country. He's destroyed our country. Now all of a sudden he's trying to get a little tough on the border. He came out with a nothing deal, and it reduced it a little bit, like this much. It's insignificant. He wants open borders. He wants our country to either be destroyed or he wants
Democrats
to pick up those
do openly
people
want
as
open
voters.
borders.
And
they do not care about our borders.
We just can't let it happen. If he wins this election, our country doesn't have a chance, not even a chance, of coming out of this rut. We probably won't have a country left anymore. That's how bad it is. He is the worst in history by far.
In 2016, people said that was dangerous rhetoric. Right now, people are saying, yeah.
I wish he would point to Europe and say, look what's happened to Europe. It's happening here.
Good point.
I just wish it could be a little finer with it.
No one wants to screw around with us. Nobody.
Whatever. Everyone screws around with us, Joe.
That we're talking about worst presidents. I wasn't joking. Look it up. Go online. 159 and 58, don't hold me the exact
we got
number.
one more rank here on Warrior.
They've had meetings and they voted who's the worst president in American history.
Here's the comeback.
Best to worst.
And 51 counterintelligence people signed it, saying the laptop was Russian disinformation.
Yep.
That's not conjecture.
That's the answer to that.
Are those the same people who said the Hunter Biden laptop was fake, Joe?
That's exactly
those same people?
See, that's what he should counter with.
Look at Trump's face, away from the puck. He knows he's got it. Wait for his response. He's got it.
Oh, yeah.
Single parents to be able to go back to work, and we should be very business to have.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, the question was.
How about a world where single parents don't
applicant board
drink, moderators. Hold on, go.
We have other things that they rate him the worst because what he's done is so bad. And they rate me, I'll show you, I will show you. And they rate me one of the best, okay? And
don't get into this.
Another 4 years.
No need to
Perry attack. Perry attack.
Nobody's ever created an economy like us. Nobody ever cut taxes like us. He's the only one I know. He wants to raise your taxes by 4 times. He wants to raise everybody's taxes by 4 times. He wants the Trump tax cuts to expire. So everybody, including the two of you, are going to pay 4 to 5 times. Nobody ever heard of this before. All my life I'd grow up and I'd see politicians talking about cutting taxes. When we cut taxes, as I said, we did more business. Apple and all these companies, they were bringing money back into our country. The worst president in history by far, and everybody knows it.
President Biden?
Look, the fact of the matter is that he's dead wrong about he's increased the tariff. He will increase the
oh
taxes.
my God! Drink. Biden moment.
He will increase.
Bring up the drinking game rules.
He's got Trump winning.
I'm already drunk.
Bring up the drinking game rules. He just said Donald Trump will increase because he knows he's going to win.
Yes, he did.
Good point, Nick.
$2,500 a year more.
This cup smells like dog shit.
It should. Joe Lewis was sitting on it.
Number 2.
Joe Lewis is his dog
boss. A situation where he talks about how he has not raised.
Stop it.
He somehow helped the middle class.
Smells like a urine. No, I don't really smell anything.
Devastated by
Want me to drink it?
Now you want a new
I like
tax
dog shit.
cut of $5 trillion
Do a cup for
over
Steve,
10
please.
years.
Sorry, there's a 9-year-old girl named Dog Shit.
The country. We have the largest deficit of any president of America.
His voice lost the minute he opened his mouth
You
tonight.
have not, in fact,
Sounds
made
107.
any contact, any progress with China. We have a
Did you say not make any contact? And then said any progress?
Yes.
That's not even the wrong word.
He's not making any sense.
Here we go.
You have made a top priority in your first term the opioid crisis. And for both of you, the number of
Take the opioid crisis back to the border. That's where Donald Trump is strongest.
It has gone up. Former President Trump, despite the efforts that both of you have made, more than 100,000 Americans are dying from overdoses every year, primarily from fentanyl and other opioids. What will you do to help Americans right now in the throes of addiction who are struggling to get the treatment?
What do you do to help Hunter, Joe?
Just say no.
We now have the largest deficit in the history of our country under this guy. We have the largest deficit with China. He gets paid by China. He's a Manchurian candidate. He gets money from China. We have, so I think he's afraid to deal with them or something.
Oh wait, no,
he's. You notice he never took out the tariffs because we bring in so much money with the tariffs that I imposed on China.
He did.
He never took them away. He can't because it's too much money. It's tremendous, and we saved our steel industries, and there was more to come, but he hasn't done that. But he hasn't cut the tariffs because he can't, because it's too much money. But he's got the largest deficit in the history of our country, and he's got the worst, situation with China. China's
My escort died.
If you keep allowing them to do what they're doing to us as a country. They are killing us as a country, Joe, and you can't let that happen. You're destroying our country.
So, President Trump, you have 67 seconds left. The question was, what are you going to do to help Americans in the throes of addiction right now who are struggling to
You're
get
an
the
ignorant
treatment
slut,
they need?
Well, we stopped the immigration coming in. That was part of it.
Came along. We had the 2.5, almost 3 years of like nobody's ever had before, any country, in every way.
There we go.
And then we had to get tough, and it was the drugs pouring across the border were started to increase. We got great equipment. We bought the certain dog that's the most incredible thing that you've ever seen, the way they can spy.
I think it's a Wiener Schnitzel.
Not his dog who attacks everyone who works in the West Wing.
Any black Secret Service agent.
Have you seen the numbers now? It's not only the 18 million people that I believe is even low, because the gotaways, they don't even talk about gotaways. But the numbers of the amount of drugs and human trafficking in women coming across our border.
Mostly women.
The worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, not only to mention child trafficking coming over the southern border as well.
The number of drugs coming across our border now is the largest we've ever had by far.
President Trump, thank you. President Biden?
Fentanyl and the byproducts of fentanyl went down for a while.
What?
That's because you're a while.
When?
That's because your kid
When did fentanyl go down, Joe?
Your kid was in rehab for a month. Yeah, motherfucker.
Fentanyl went down and methadone went up.
Together. It's a bipartisan deal.
It's a bipartisan deal, yes.
More people to take drugs.
Where did that idiot go?
More of the numbers of agents.
What is he doing, taking a squat?
Fentanyl is coming through the border. Joe Biden reversed 89 of Donald Trump's policies through executive order, and so fentanyl is worse. It's not an opioid crisis of people going in for a wisdom tooth removed and starting to fillet somebody in an alley for Vicodin. It's drugs coming from China through the border of Mexico, period.
Thank you. That's what I caught, too. Fillet usage. Nice
I thought you do that when you catch a bass.
He's
you
a real
fillet
smart
it.
guy.
Well, I have a good filleting knife.
You got a good filleting knife?
The men aren't big fans of it.
President Trump, and again, the question is about...
It makes the dirty thing sound beautiful.
Fillet. Of addiction right now, struggling to get the treatment they need.
Because this does pertain to it. He ended remain in Mexico.
Perfect.
He ended catch and release. I made it catch and release in Mexico, not catch and release here. We had so many things that we had done. Hard negotiations with Mexico, and I got it all for nothing. It's just like when you have a hostage. We always pay $6 billion for a hostage. Every time we say it's a hostage. Now we have a hostage, a Wall Street Journal reporter. I think a good guy.
10 minutes left.
And he's over there because Putin is laughing at this guy, probably asking for billions of dollars for the reporter.
In his defense, we traded Brittany Griner for the Merchant of Death.
Yes. Before I take office, I said,
nowhere to go from there.
Literally, as soon as I win the election, I will have that reporter out. He should have had him out a long time ago. But Putin's probably asking for billions and billions of dollars because this guy pays it every time. We had 2 cases where we paid $6 billion for 5 people.
Every
I got 58 people out, and I paid essentially nothing.
Thank you, President Trump. Dana?
Let's turn to concerns that voters have.
He's changed his tactic. Someone spoke to him. He's sticking the landing and giving the floor.
At the end of your second term. How do you address concerns?
Oh, they're going to equivocate here.
Ability to handle the toughest job in the
Hope he
world
freezes right now.
well into your 80s.
I'm fine.
First of all, I spent half my career being criticized being the youngest person in politics. I was the second youngest person.
Yeah, what about after FDR?
Yeah, I was the second youngest person in politics back in the 1970s.
I think that just look at the record. Look at what I've done.
He's the last politician to get hit with a musket.
He's the last politician to get hit with a musket.
It's with a musket.
I thought it was a big deal.
I caught it with my teeth.
We are growing. By the way, we brought an awful lot of people. The whole idea of computer chips reached out 3% of the market. We invented those chips. And we
brought a lot of people computer chips? Yeah, great defense to the fact that you're old and demented, Joe. Drink. That's a thug life moment from Trump, and Joe was the one talking.
That's quite a pivot.
Billions of dollars here in the United States.
Call that a non sequitur.
Guess what? Those fabs, they call them, to build these chips. Those fabs pay over $100,000. You don't need a college degree.
I love the Apple II.
Chips? Tell Eric Estrada next.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Apple II GS as well, Joe.
I'm going to big flap.
I had
Click the link in the description to join. $24 off tonight. Only do it now.
Trump 24. This guy has no chance if it's an even playing field. Starting tonight and tomorrow, they're going to try and twist this. Watch the spin. They want to steal this election from you. That is not hyperbole. This isn't even close.
Your eyes aren't lying. This is beautiful. This contrast of who's more fit to run, physically, mentally. Never mind what they're talking about today.
Right.
And everybody trusts us. All of our allies and those who he coddles up to, from Kim Jong-un, he sends love letters to, and Putin, etc. They don't want to screw up.
Hold on a second. Putin and Kim Jong.
Putin
did you say
and Kim Jong-un
Did he mean Kim Jong-un?
Biden.
Kim Jong-un and Putin
They
just
all
buddied
want
up
Biden.
under your watch, Joe.
Because they don't want to worry about tough policy from the U.S.
No, yeah, they do not want Trump at all.
Definitive.
He took none. I'd like to see him take one, just one. A real easy one. I go through the first five. But I took 2 cognitive tests. I took physical exams every year.
Lumosity.
And, you know, we knock on wood wherever we have wood. I'm in very good health. I just got 2 club championships. Not
That's
even
why he died. Oh, he
that,
is a
you have to be really smart, and you have to be
he got none.
He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenges me.
Hey, idiot! Can you not stand right next to me?
Competition for the presidency, Joe. We love these things, and I think this is what makes people get pissed at it. No, we love it. I'm just saying.
At least he's following his train of thought. Whereas Biden started talking about computer chips.
Oh, it was over the minute Biden opened his 90.
For God's sake, he doesn't know a computer. Biden's still using net zero.
That's the thing.
Great guy when he was White House doctor. And then
I was playing pawn with Hunter.
And one of them said they'd never seen anybody ace him.
Thank you. President Biden.
He's always
There's a big buddy.
Okay.
Leave it to me.
Well, you said 6'4", 200. Well, anyway, that's it.
Oh, he just totally had a brain fart right there.
Look at what he is. Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him.
You would?
I got my handicap.
Apparently, fact check's true.
When I was vice president.
Well, you are handicapped. That's a difference.
Look
at By the way, here's the beauty. Joe Biden can make a challenge, and he never has to make good on it.
Bandits aren't fond of intrusion.
Did they mute him?
But I had, you know,
I've seen this one.
By the way, this is the most old man argument
What did he
ever.
say?
Talking about their handicap.
I've seen your swing. I know your swing. Is that what he said?
The only swinging you do is with
Dana
your
Bash
knees.
is not liking this at all.
That you will accept the results of this election, regardless of who wins.
Only if it's fair, Dana.
Ask Biden that question.
Yeah, ask Biden if he's going to accept. Ask
cocksucker.
any Democrat if they'll
And of
accept
course
the
I
election
believe
if
that. It's
Trump
totally
wins.
unacceptable.
Ask him.
And if you would see my statements that I made on Twitter at the time, and also my statement that I made in the Rose Garden, you would say it's one of the strongest statements you've ever seen. In addition to the speech I made in front of, I believe, the largest crowd I've ever spoken to, and I will tell you, nobody ever talks about that. They talk about a relatively small number of people that went to the Capitol.
Idiot. Get over here,
and
you
in many
idiot.
cases were ushered in by the police. And as Nancy Pelosi said, it was her responsibility, not mine. She said that loud and clear. But the answer is, if the election is fair, free, and I want that more than anybody. And I'll tell you something. I wish he was a great president, because I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be at one of my
I want to come back to this short-term. Hold on. Short-term memory, working memory. Donald Trump still has it. He just did it, went to an aside, and came back. A lot of people can't do that. He's still able to do it.
I can't do that.
I wish he was a great president. I would rather have that. I wouldn't be here. I don't mind being here. The only reason I'm here is he's so bad as a president that I'm going to make America great again. We're going to make America great again. We're a failing nation right now. We're a seriously failing nation. And we're a failing nation because of him. His policies are so bad. His military policies are insane. They're insane. These are wars that will never end with him. He will drive us into World War III, and we're closer to World War III than anybody can imagine. We are very, very close to World War III.
Boom, just stole that.
Oh, crap.
When Eminem had a segment, he said
you're still alive. You're still alive.
Trump. We are absolutely
Get out of here. Get over here. Over here, you idiot.
Look at his face.
Oh, shit, he's right.
World War III.
Oh, we're still aggroed.
You follow and win and let Putin say, do what you want later. Just do what
Yes,
you
that's
want.
right.
Putin only acted up when it was Obama and you.
Right.
Crimea.
Stay over there,
and then
Mr.
you
Griffin.
with Ukraine. Under
not come
Donald
over
Trump,
here.
they said,
Hey,
he's
moron.
crazy. He means what he's saying. Let's just keep our head down and wait for Pussy Boy to win office.
Because we're a powerful nation. We have wonderful peace because of the people. Not me, it's because of the American people.
You just insulted half of them, Joe.
Yeah, the only people you're insulting are the actual Americans. You're putting illegal immigrants ahead of American citizens.
No, do not get under the Griffin. Get away from under the Griffin.
Oh, stop it, Joe. Stop it.
President Trump, as
There's a war on our border. I don't give a shit about Poland right now compared to what is happening on
Come on,
our
Abel.
border. How about that?
Do the thing, Abel.
Russia. They took a lot of land from Bush. They took a lot of land from Obama.
Crimea.
They took no land, nothing from Trump, nothing. He knew
There we go.
He got along with him very well, but he knew not to play games. He took nothing from me. Now he's going to take the whole thing from this man right here. That's a war that should have never started. It would have never started, ever, with me. And he's going to take Ukraine. You know, you asked me a question before, would you do this? He's got us in such a bad position right now with Ukraine and Russia. Look at Joe's face. Because Ukraine's not winning that war.
This whole look that Joe has, that he just stares with his mouth gaping open.
They've lost so many people.
It's like, didn't they work with him on this?
That are 1,000 years old, all because of him and stupid decisions. Russia would have never attacked.
President Trump, the question was, will you accept the results of the election?
He already said yes.
He already said yes to that question, Dana Bash.
There we go. Good election? Absolutely.
There we go.
I would have much rather accepted these, that the fraud and everything else was
They're going to try to correct and watch.
And if you want, we'll have a news conference on it in a week. Or we'll have another one of these in a week. But I will absolutely, there's nothing I'd rather do. It would be much easier for me to do that than I'm running again. I wasn't really going to run until I saw the horrible job he did. He's destroying our country.
That may not be true.
No, it's funny though. It's funny. It's a dig.
A nice location someplace.
He's opening
and again,
himself up for a little
no indictments, no political opponent stuff, because it's the only way he thinks he can win. But unfortunately, it's
absolutely true. Bring up that clip. Let's have it ready from Biden saying that he was going to do whatever he could to keep Donald Trump from office. We just played it on the show the other day where he talked about using the legal channels to prevent him from being the nominee.
You lost the first time. You continued, you appealed and appealed to courts all across the country. Not one single court.
They didn't even look at it.
That's
You're allowed to appeal an election, Joe.
That were actually or thrown
You're
out
allowed to appeal it. Hey, why don't you ask Hillary Clinton if she lost Trump back in 2016? Why don't you ask Hillary that?
Once we get it.
And I tell you what, I doubt that you'll accept it because you're such a whiner. The idea if you lose again, you accept anything.
No, we're not going
that way. You can't stand loss. Something snapped in you.
No, not that
Make sure
way
you click the
No, whining is what people do after your dog Major bites their dick.
Happy, Dana? Is that the answer you were looking for?
From Georgia.
Okay, so look, really quickly, we're going to go really quickly to one sponsor for this show as they go to their commercial break.
They went back to that. Will you accept the election twice?
We have a 7+1.
Yeah, did you ask that about Joe Biden?
I believe we also have Thomas Finnegan on the ground at the debate. Again,
why don't you ask the disgraced Georgia nominee,
you did screw me up.
what's her face, that big old black lady, if she ever lost the election, the Georgia election.
No one will be doing it better.
She will not admit it.
Infrastructure. I'm telling you, tonight, former Vice President
you ask,
Joe
what
Biden
about Al
just
Gore?
lost the election.
What about Al Gore when he lost to Bush?
Try and win it back. It starts now. You want to talk about fighting like hell? Don't get complacent. This has actually probably spurred the left more than you could imagine because it has been so abysmal. Really quickly, let's go. We'll come right back.
And we are off.
I brought the heat.
I got some beers.
I got the snacks.
I've got the medical emergency kit from the wellness company.
Whoa, that's crazy. I brought my own emergency kit.
Why does yours look different than mine? Is yours from the wellness company too?
Wellness company?
Guys, actually, I think I forgot to pack the beers.
I knew this would happen. Typical Gerald. Don't worry, guys. I got us covered. Check this out.
Nice,
Ice cold beer for everybody. One for you. One for you. Steven, of course. One for you. And one for you. Sorry, Gerald, you wino. Now you're driving, you silly goose. This is for me.
Whatever.
You know, Josh, well, I think it's pretty cool that you made your own kit. I'm now becoming significantly worried that you may have prepared for an emergency different than Devin's.
Well, what do you have in there then?
Well, let's see. I've got some motion sickness tablets for when we're on the boat. Oh, I also have some anti-diarrheas.
Oh, nice.
Good.
And if you need diarrhea, I brought this bag of beans, refried beans.
Why are they in a diarrhea? Here's a bag.
Why? This is how I pack my beans. This is my bean bag. But aren't they cooked already?
Oh, let's see what else I've got in here. I've got some diphenhydramine.
Yeah, Devin, I think that's pretty cool. But right now I'm still trying to figure out this whole beans thing.
Yeah, let's go back to that.
Well, they're not whole beans, they're refried beans.
Already cooked.
But yeah, that implies that they've been cooked once, Josh, and for some reason now we have to cook them again?
But they're cold, Gerald.
What good do cold refried beans do us?
Maybe you could use them to cool down the beers you brought.
Because you didn't bring any, you forgot them!
Be prepared for anything with the Wellness Company's Medical Emergency Kit. Get the whole kit for the cost of a single doctor's visit. Go to twc.health/Crowder and enter promo code Crowder for 10% off and free shipping at checkout.
10% off and free shipping. Your doctors won't prescribe ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine, will they, Nick? Are they going to give you that? No,
only the good doctors.
Of course not.
And look, I mean, I know a lot of you probably think, like, hey, whatever, I don't need these things. Let the power go out for a week. Let something happen where you can't get medication that's basic stuff that you need. Steven will be back in just 1 second. He went to the restroom. When that happens, you need something, and this kit right here is fantastic. Look, probably 6 months ago, I probably wouldn't have thought much about this. I read a book, and it scared the hell out of me because I think it was The Second After is the name of the book.
Oh, I thought it was Hillary's latest.
It's a cut after the power goes out, and you don't have basic medication, basic access to it. All of the things that we don't worry about anymore come back, and you don't think about it. Think about insulin. We talked about that a minute ago with Joe Biden and Donald Trump, and by the way, pull that up in the lower thirds to make sure people know when they come back on CNN, we'll be there. I think they're going to do their closing remarks if Biden can make it that long.
Okay, you are staying
by me,
you
guys are prepared. If you're going to get one of those kits for us, make sure that you are going to have all of the medicine you need. Visit twc.health/Crowder. Use promo code Crowder to save 10% free shipping at checkout. You need this. Go back to Biden now.
Debacle that was left by President Trump in his last term. We find ourselves in a situation.
Can we turn that up a little?
Yeah, a little bit.
We have to make sure that we have a fair tax system. I ask anyone out there in the audience or anyone out watching this debate, do you think the tax system is fair? The fact is that I said nobody even making under $400,000 had a single penny.
Yeah, no one making under $400,000 will make Tracy a single penny.
$400,000.
How much does the president make? Oh, yeah, that's right, $400,000.
Number one.
This is news?
He's increased inflation because of the debacle he left after the way he handled the pandemic.
I heard it wrong.
And he finds himself in a position where
it's been 3 years, Biden. You've had 3 years to fix his debacle. You haven't. You made it worse, moron.
For example, he wants to get away with, get rid of the ability
to tell the Americans that Donald Trump is the one who wants to increase taxes?
I know.
That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out for him.
Plus, to be able to negotiate drug prices with the big pharma companies. Well, guess what?
Oh, who loves the big pharma companies, Joe?
Got it down to $35.
Biggest kickback ever to the big pharma companies.
No more than $2,000
vaccine mandates
for every senior.
Fact check. Bring that up. Not even close.
How much
that didn't even come up.
You know what that did? That reduced the federal debt by $160 billion over 10 years because the government got it.
Oh, federal debt. Well, the federal debt is over 30. Is it 30 trillion?
Get him a bib.
Is it 30 trillion?
8 billion a year, Joe. 160 over 10 years.
What's the federal debt now?
5 minutes.
Is it 30 something trillion? He switched deficit to debt. He screwed up.
He screwed up in so many ways. That's a rounding error on our deficit.
He's retarded, Gerald.
Jeez.
Causing health problems.
Well, he's retarded and
34.75.
An old retard.
And give people a break.
160 billion over 10 years. Yeah, we'll get out of this.
I want to hear.
Okay, sorry.
Like so many politicians, this man is just a complainer. He said, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to get rid of this tax, that tax. But he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do, all he does is make our country unsafe by allowing millions and millions of people to pour in. Our military doesn't respect him. We look like fools in Afghanistan. We didn't stop Israel. It was such a horrible thing that would have never happened. It should have never happened. Iran was broke. Anybody that did business with Iran, including China, they couldn't do business with the United States. They all passed. Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, for terror, no money whatsoever. Again, Ukraine should have never happened. He talks about all the stuff, but he didn't do it. For 3.5 years, we're living in hell. We have the Palestinians and we have everybody else rioting all over the place. You talk about Charlottesville. This is 100 times Charlottesville, 1,000 times. The whole country is exploding because of you.
Yeah, the whole country is exploding in anti-Semitism.
Their president, and they don't respect you throughout the world. What we did was incredible. We rebuilt the military. We got the largest tax cut in history, the largest regulation cut in history. The reason he's got jobs is because I cut the regulations that gave jobs. But he's putting a lot of those regulations back on. All of the things that we've done, nobody's never seen anything like. Even from a medical standpoint, right to try, where we can try space-age materials instead of going to Asia or going to Europe and trying to get when you're terminally ill. Now you can go and you can get something. You sign a document. They've been trying to get it for 42 years.
Yeah, that's the big thing with Trump. He actually got pushed through the ability of people to try experimental drugs.
To see a doctor can go out and get themselves fixed up and readied up and take care of themselves.
That's no small thing, by the way. We'll touch on that in the show.
Yeah, but he didn't help the fags.
We'll touch on that in the show when we do another daily show. The idea of doctor choice with the VA is a big deal.
Thank you, former President Trump, President Biden.
That's sitting President Trump standing before you and former Vice President.
Debate, Anderson Cooper and Aaron Burnett.
No, full analysis.
Anderson Cooper and Aaron Burnett.
Handshake, guys. You're not going to let them go over?
Nope. Among the crags that litter this place.
Dude, wow.
Stand awkward.
Biden.
Wow.
Biden
Stand quickly,
seriously
Joe.
still looks completely.
Okay. Did they just go silent or is that us?
They just went silent.
They went silent.
CNN.
I use that all.
The best coverage.
Guys,
in the world.
Why are they staying on there? Oh my gosh. They should have cut like 10, 15 seconds ago.
Out of the blue and into the black.
Good Lord, that was a terrible outro, CNN.
And once he has diarrhea, he can't go back. So, look, we're going to have Alex Jones on in just a little bit here. Really looking forward to his commentary.
I'm going to turn off.
I would love to hear from you guys who you thought won that.
Yeah, dude, that was an absolute abysmal showing by Biden. That was not good at all. He looked confused. He looked dazed. I mean, yeah, he stayed on point most of the time, but when he wasn't directly speaking, he just lost. He looked completely lost. And okay, so full disclosure, I am going to vote for Trump. I am going to vote for Trump. I have no issues voting for Trump at all. And yes, I do. There are some things that I do wish he would do and would have done better. But I think he 100% has learned his lesson, and I think he's going to do a much better time the second time around. And I think what the biggest thing that he's going to do is I think he will pave the way for Ron DeSantis to really come in and finish the job of the federal government's insane overreach on our lives. I think more than anything, he needs to pave the way for Ron DeSantis. Because I would rather want Ron DeSantis, but I think with Trump right now, like I was kind of mentioning last time, I think Trump is the best person now. Now, is he the best? No. But is he the best person now? Yes. Okay, I gotta hook left. Okay, we're gonna hook left here. So, but basically, what I think is going to happen now is I think Democrats, the elite Democrats, are going to go into a full-scale panic over this debate. I cannot envision where the elites are going to look at this and say, oh yeah, no, we're going to continue with this guy. He's our man. There's no way that dude survives 4 years. I'm sorry.
And I apologize for not being as dialed into the political scene as you are.
Which is fine.
But I have one very important question that I'm sure is at the forefront of every Democrat's mind. Who is the current vice president in case we need to declare Biden incompetent?
A person more incompetent than Joe Biden.
Oh, jeez.
Do you not know who Kamala Harris is?
Farrell, sometimes I take pride in the fact that I live under a rock.
Okay, this is a very good thing. Okay, Kamala Harris is so terrible of a politician. She ran for she was a presidential candidate in 2020 from California. She dropped out of the race before California because she knew she was going to get obliterated in her home state.
Wow.
Yeah. She didn't even pass the mustard for a Californian politician. Oh, and you listen to her, she is so dumb. So here's her background. Here's her background. She was a former district attorney in San Francisco. And the only way that she got that job was because she was fornicating with the mayor of San Francisco. This is well documented, by the way. And then you want to know why she's Biden's why she's Biden's vice president?
Why?
Because she's female and black.
Oh.
That's literally it. Because he said he was going to have a black female as a vice president, and he found him a black female. And that's the only reason she is the vice president. His words, not mine. So yeah, no, Kamala Harris is an absolute nightmare of if she's the president, oh good Lord.
Okay, so I guess here's my next question. Who's next in line after her?
That would be who's next in line, like in terms of actual current secession?
Yeah, like if Biden and Harris were
incapacitated for whatever reason. That would be the Speaker of the House.
And the current Speaker of the House is?
Mike Johnson. And
what do we know of him?
He's a Republican. He's not terrible. He's not really good either. I mean, in terms of would it be much, oh my gosh, much better? Yes. But he is still he's much better than a lot of the other smarmy GOP politicians, like the Romney types. He's much better than those types, but he's not like Mike Lee, Ted Cruz. Even Ted Cruz has some misgivings in my eyes, but like a Mike Lee. Mike Lee is one of the best in my opinion. He's one of the, he's a senator from Utah. But in terms of congressman, he is one of the best. So he's not like Mike Lee and some of those other guys, but he's not terrible either. He's better than average in terms of policies and the way that he's gone. Now, a lot of people give Mike Johnson a bunch of crap because they're saying, oh, well, he's just rolling over on these things. Well, yes and no. Yes, he has rolled over on a bunch of budget policies. But at the same time, at this point, we do not want to have massive internal budget crises on our hands. We do not want to do the whole... oh, crap. I got undead with me? How about we just sneak around them? So we don't want a huge government shutdown right now. Right now, right before the presidential election. It is just not good timing at all. Which... I understand the desire to say, hey, you know what? This is stupid that we keep funding the government that literally is trying to quasi-enslave us and all that crap. I understand that argument, but at the same time, why don't we not shoot ourselves in the foot when honestly right now winning the election is far more important than that. I understand the argument a lot of people make. They say, oh, well, you keep saying we just got to win this election. We got to win this election. I understand that, and I'm usually on that side of the argument as well. But right now, 100%, taking back the White House is absolutely the most important thing that we can do. And getting into a huge pissing match over the House budget, that is not a fight we want to be picking right now. What we want to do right now is we want to shine, and Trump actually, and I agree with Crowder and the other guys. Trump did a very good job of pivoting back to Biden's failures. 100%. We need to keep highlighting Biden's failures because there are so many failures on so many fronts, and we need to keep highlighting them. Oh, get that right. And we need to get people to understand that the media is not telling them the truth and that Biden has been absolutely terrible for everyone. For the big guys, the little guys, everybody. So that's the biggest thing right now. And really going to town over the budget, just not a good idea right now. Ah, crap. Get back here. Get back here, jerk.
What in the hell is that cheek?
Okay, now get over here. There you go. Good girl, maybe. Where are you going? Over here. Come on, pathfinding. Get over here. Jump down. It's a small... There you go. Good job. What? What did I just finish? I don't know what I just finished. Ah, well, whatever. So the big thing... But here's the thing, though. What you asked is a very valid question. Who do they have? No one. They have no one. They have... Bernie Sanders, who's just as old as Biden. They still have Bernie Sanders. There is talk of bringing back Hillary Clinton as well, which do you really want to do that, guys? Do you really think
you want to have to deal with the fire? You've already got a fire. Bringing her back with what? Throw gasoline on it? Am I using a bad metaphor?
No, get out of here, get out of here. Okay, good. We're good. No. It's having Hillary Clinton as your running person. I mean, here's the big thing. Here's a number of scenarios that I have heard. Now, the biggest problem the Democrats are going to have is, number one, the Hamas supporters. The Hamas supporters hate Biden because they don't believe he has done enough against Israel. But Biden also has the Jewish contingent to deal with that has primarily voted Democrat in their history. But the problem is the Jews are waking up. Like, the actual practicing Jews are waking up. They are realizing, holy crap, these Democrats do not care about us at all. Okay, where is that chick? Get over here. Get over here, blue dot. There you are. So his big problem is he is focusing so hard on the LGBTQ and the pro-Hamas wings of his voter base. But the problem is a lot of people are not happy with the LGBTQ population. They are not happy with how they've been handling things, or, you know, what their demands are. They are not happy with a lot of that. And he's losing a lot of the moderates.
Why do they have demands? They shouldn't have demands.
Yep.
I mean, nobody should have demands. Not just them. But
let's see here. Okay, those are deer.
What your demand should be: treat me like a decent person.
Yeah, that's the problem. The LGBTQ population, they do not have a finish line. There is no finish line with that population, because like in California is a complete microcosm of exactly the LGBTQ movement, because it started in the 80s with acceptance. Hey, gays just want to be able to come out of the closet with dignity. We shouldn't persecute people for being gay. Okay.
That I can get behind that.
Right, and people did get behind that. And then it turned into, well, you know what? The gay population, you know, they want to have civil unions. They want to have the same rights and legal protections as married couples do. Okay, you're not going to get too many people going, saying that that's a terrible thing. So let's...
Look, gay people, you want the chance to have an unhappy marriage and an ugly divorce? More power to you.
Right? But the big... But
sorry.
Okay. All right. We're okay. So then it turned into, well, we want our civil unions to become marriages now, because we want to be treated just the same as everyone else. And then a fair amount of people said, okay, all right. Oh, good crap. I got to get through those idiots. We're going to sneak around these guys. So then there's a fair amount of people that said, okay. But then they started demanding that churches marry them. That churches that don't believe in this, that don't believe that gay marriage is a good thing, that they perform their ceremonies. They demanded this. And that's...
that I'm not sure if I can get behind.
That's where they lost a lot of people.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, here's the thing. If you want a religious ceremony with a church in which you are already a member of, if you're a member of that congregation and the congregation has no issue with you being gay, then, I'm sure that church and that congregation will be more than happy to be able to provide you that religious ceremony.
Right.
But if you are not part of the congregation of a particular church and you go there and you request a religious ceremony from that pastor, priest, officiant, whomever it is that's in charge of that locality, whether you're gay or not, there are requirements and guidelines that are going to be asked of you.
Yep.
And so long as you follow those guidelines for that particular church, then you shouldn't have any issues. It's like, and this might just be another aspect of the issue we're talking about, but like, businesses have the right to refuse goods and services to customers.
Right. And that is the next morphing of it. It is, they legitimately were going to churches and officially basically blackmailing them and saying, hey, we will sue you if you do not marry us. That's what they were doing. And there are documented cases of this. And that's why the church specifically stopped doing the wedding ceremonies, the legal weddings in the temples. Our church has officially stopped that because of the LGBTQ population and their blackmails and their threats.
Look, here's the thing. As some viewers of the Taqueria may be aware, you and I are both members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Right.
You and your wife, I believe, are both members, and as far as I'm aware, you were married in the temple?
Correct. Yeah, we were actually legally married in the temple. Because this was
that was being done.
Yes.
Now, I myself, my wife, we were not married in the temple. We were not sealed in the temple. My wife is not a member of the church.
Right.
I was married in a Catholic church.
To support Crystal.
Now, because I am not Catholic, my wife and I, then girlfriend, then fiance, sat down with the local priest, and he had some guidelines. He had some things that he requested of me because of the fact that I am not a member of the Catholic congregation.
Patrons oft post work
So,
in the ale house.
For the LGBT, basically, if I had done what the LGBT, I get the letters mixed up, but we know who we're talking about.
Right.
If I'd done what they were doing, basically it would be, hey, no, Father such and such, you need to do this without forcing me to jump through all these hurdles, and it's just like, okay, that's very disrespectful.
Right.
Yeah. No. I can't get behind them trying to say that, trying to do that.
Yeah. So, and then it turned into the, hey, you know what? We also just want our little festival and be able to do our thing and, have our little Pride Week. And then it turned into Pride Month. And then it turns into, oh, well, we have to be represented. Our values must be represented. We must be allowed to teach your kids this stuff at school. We must allow to have our books that contain explicit pornographic material. These have to be in not only your public libraries, but your kids' public school libraries, and your children in kindergarten must be taught these values of gender fluidity and all of these things from kindergarten. There is no end line for these people. Their mentality, and this is a true paganistic religion, there is no they will be satisfied. They will keep taking everything until everyone bends the knee at their religion. And that's what it is. They openly want people that are advocates for this movement. They want the explicit demolition of the traditional family of a mother and a father and children in the same household where everyone is cisgendered. They do not want that, and that is what they're actively trying to destroy. Now, there are a bunch of useful idiots that, no, they don't. You talk to the hardcore advocates, all of them are behind this idea. 100%. So, this is why this election is so important. We need to wind back the clock with this, and I really think Trump is the right person to be able to do that. But with that, my friends, I am going to need to get to bed because it's already 11:30 where I am, and I got to wake up and make pancakes tomorrow. I'm making pancakes for the swim team tomorrow.
Make sure to put chocolate chips in them.
No chocolate chips. I'm not that rich. So anyway, that's it. That's going to be it for us tonight. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I know this might drive a bunch of people insane. This might actually get me copyright strike on YouTube. But you know what? I'm willing to take the strike for this. But
look, aside from having Crowder up on mine so I could actually hear them, I was watching your stream on YouTube. You were not taken down.
Oh, glorious. All right. Well, anyway, that's going to be it for us, my friends. Join the Discord. Link in the description down below. I am not going to be on the bike tomorrow. I will be running on Saturday. Tomorrow, I'm going to be marking my yard for sod cutting on Saturday. So no stream tomorrow, but we will be back tomorrow night with Dawn Trail. We're gonna get everything ready for Dawn Trail, and hopefully I can actually get into the game because queues are bad the first night. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens tomorrow. So join us for that. So Mr. William Paul, thank you very much for hanging out tonight.
Yeah, just playing some Chained Echoes.
All right, sounds great. So we'll be back here tomorrow. So until later, my friends, good night, Isaiah Norris. Wherever you are. Good night, everyone. Good night.